Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Market Open. It is Tuesday, December 17th, 8:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are back, and we've got a market to analyze. Folks, we got some stuff going on this morning. We got retail sales data. That is very, very important because that's going to give us a gauge on how the broader economy is doing, how many people are spending money, how many people are not spending money, where that money is being allocated to, what people are spending their money on over other items or over other categories that they're choosing to spend their money on. It'll also give us a little bit of a gauge on why inflation potentially has been stickier than most expected. And this is the last big piece of macro data before tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when Jay Powell meets for the last FOMC meeting of the year. We've been through how many FOMC? I think we've had like 7 or 8 FOMC meetings this whole year. We've live streamed all of them. This is the last one before the holidays, so we got to get through this one. I think we're going to get a rate cut. I think the market thinks we're going to get a rate cut. Right now, probabilities for a rate cut are 97.1%. So if we get a rate cut, that hopefully will be very good to end out the year. So we got that coming up. We got retail sales data. We have Tesla that is up another 3% in the pre-markets. Tesla right now at $473. It is absolutely incredible. We've got a lot to talk about. My mistake. $474.05 right now in the pre-market. So we'll be talking about Tesla and what's going on with Tesla. Bitcoin's trying to go for new all-time highs. 107,379 right now. 107,884 is the all-time high. So maybe Bitcoin can get above that, and we'll see kind of how that plays out. And then you got SoFi breaking above $17. We do have some insider selling and insider buying that happened last night, and that's what's getting the market excited. SoFi hitting 52-week highs in the pre-markets as well. So we'll be discussing that. Palantir currently down in the pre-markets, 2.8%. Palantir had a really good recovery yesterday. It was at 71, went all the way back to 75. Now it's down about 3%. Again, probably getting sold off a little bit. I also think potentially being held down because NASDAQ inclusion is this week. And, maybe money managers want to keep it at a lower price so they can get in at a better discount. But we'll be talking about Palantir and seeing what happens from there. Alex Karp had a new interview with Stanley Druckenmiller. So we have a lot of clips that I have that we can watch as well and try to get a little bit of insight on what's going on with Palantir as we get through the entire show. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Thank you, everybody, for being here Tuesday morning, December 17th. Let's get into it. Zocold, what's up? Andy, Nick, hello. Thank you all for being here. Benny, what's up? Blake Anderson, Roberto, I'm Beneficial, Kristen, Nolan, Dipin, GE. Don't forget about Bitcoin. We will have plenty to talk about when it comes to Bitcoin and MicroStrategy. That's not really reacting as well to Bitcoin going up, but we will be discussing that. D Visual Arts, Colorblind Collector, what's up? Gene, Jan, Swaggy, Philip, Crowd Control, Ricardo. Thank everybody for being here today. Mike, Bobby G, Walt, what's up? Raphael, Victor. Thank you all for being here this morning. Good morning, everybody. All right, let's start off with retail sales data in the United States of America. Oh, we also have Canadian inflation data, so we'll take a look at that. But here's retail sales data. We came in at 0.7% versus 0.5% expected. Americans are spending money and they're buying a ton of stuff. Now, there's two things to this. This is good and this is bad. This is good because we have more spending in the economy, which is better for earnings growth. And really, I think this should be no surprise to anyone because we saw the NVIDIA numbers. We saw not the NVIDIA, sorry. NVIDIA's on my mind because NVIDIA's below 130 in the pre-markets. And so we'll talk about NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA's at 129 right now. We saw the Shopify numbers. We saw the Amazon numbers. We saw the Costco numbers. Like all of these companies had record sales in the month of November. So it makes sense that retail sales came in at 0.7% above expectations of 0.5%. However, this also means that inflation's going to be sticky if people are spending this much money, and it's going to be a little harder to get it down over time. So that's one thing we have to think about. Oh, shout out to Mr. Derek Wall for the 50 gifted. Derek, appreciate you. I know you guys were asking, where's Derek? I'm missing my monthly membership. We need Derek to come back into the screen. So 50 of you just got a membership. Rolando, Mithin, Uncle Clay's Orchard, Brian the Machine, Ethan, Martin, you guys all got memberships. The YouTube's probably going to give out the rest of the memberships in a couple of seconds right now. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the 50 gifted. And thank you for being here, part of the show. Appreciate it, Derek. Derek, if you guys don't know, has been very long Tesla, and he loaded up. I mean, it was on this show where he said a couple weeks ago that he's buying, I think it was like 330 a lot. And so Tesla has done very, very well for him. So that was the retail sales data. Now, if we get a little bit more deeper into retail sales data, you can see right here, these were the things that increased versus decreased. So non-store retailers was up 1.8%, essentially e-commerce. Motor vehicles were up 2.6%. Sporting goods were up 0.9%. Building materials and garden supplies were up 0.4%. What went down? Food and beverages, clothing and accessories, apparel. We're seeing this trend in Target as well. Food services and drinking places, miscellaneous and store retailers, general merchandise stores, kind of like your dollar stores of the world, and then health and personal care. So you had a bunch of things go up in regards to e-com, building materials, electronics, motor vehicle, and parts dealers. And you had some things that slightly decreased, but overall you got a 0.7% increase in retail sales, which obviously has been very, very good for the stock market, because you've got companies actually having a market to sell their product into because people are willing to buy. And it's obviously good for the consumer. I mean, no one can say that the health consumer is absolute crap, because consumers are, definitely willing to spend and do what they want to do. Chris said, check out his recent tweet. Chris's recent tweet right here. I'm reading it for the first time with you guys. He says, retail sales came in hot, but don't be fooled. Motor vehicles led the way. This is actually what we just looked at. This is very likely a front running of demand in anticipation of EV tax credit elimination talk from the Trump administration. This is a good point. Also could be the front loading of demand ahead of tariffs that could be imposed on Mexico and Canada, who have significant motor vehicle manufacturing base that imports into the US. I actually agree with this. So the total retail sales in the United States was 724 billion. October was 719 billion. And a majority of that 724 billion that came in ahead of expectations was because of motor vehicles. I think this makes a lot of sense for two reasons. Number one, we are all seeing people load up on that 0% APR Tesla. I mean, I've gotten I think 3 or 4 people that referred from my discount code. I've seen many people on Twitter tweet out their code, and they maxed out the amount of referrals they can get. So I think Tesla could hit 500,000 deliveries. Last quarter, they hit 463,000. The amount of people that really wanted a Tesla to take advantage of not only the EV tax credit, but the 0% APR, which just ended 2 days ago in terms of that promotion, I think is a big deal. Also, if you do the math, and I was doing the math the other day, like a brand new Honda CR-V, which was my dad's old car, costs $43,000 with a 4% APR. A Tesla Model Y, which I would argue is better than that car, it was $45,000 with all the discounts, 0% APR. So, I mean, relatively the same prices, and the APR is different. And one is a Tesla, right? One is, with all these benefits, one is a Honda. So I do think there's going to be a lot of people that loaded up on Teslas, but also a lot of people in general feel that if the tariffs being imposed on Mexico and Canada are going to be aggressive, maybe they want to get their car before Trump gets into office. Also, the Trump administration came out a couple of days ago and said they are being gung-ho about transitioning from all these EV subsidies. So if anyone thinks, oh, he's going to change his mind, I don't think so. I think Trump's getting rid of the $7,500 tax credit. It is out of here. And, this is kind of like his way to posture to the base of people that care about, the unions around internal combustion engines and people that generally don't love EVs. Like he kind of has to do this. It was a campaign promise. He said he was going to do this. Elon has no problem with him doing this. So he really has no reason not to do this. So I do think that EV tax credit is going to be gone in a month. And that's another reason why people could be excited to buy very, very soon. Karthik says, I got one and got 3 referrals in 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, Tesla, I really do think is going to have a pretty damn good quarter when it comes to the delivery. So speaking of Tesla, let's transition into Tesla. So that was the main macro data today. It was retail sales. There's no other crazy macro data. Well, we do have one thing real quick. We have Canadian CPI. So let's just look at that real quick and then we'll get into Tesla. November CPI month over month came in at 0%, which is amazing. The market thought it would be 0.1%. So that is a miss. And then, or that's a beat. And then CPI was at 1.9% year over year. The market thought it would be 2%. So at least in Canada, you are seeing some inflation tailwinds in terms of it going down month over month and year over year, which is what the market wants to see. We just need that to happen in the United States now. The United States is going up. We're going in the wrong direction. But if we can get ourselves to stabilize and start going down, then that would obviously be very good for the United States when it comes to CPI. Derek, good morning. Thank you again for the 50 gifted. Appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for being here as well. And for those that got the gifted, I know a bunch of you guys got the gifted right here. YouTube gives them out randomly, so don't feel bad if you didn't get it. But a bunch of you guys got it. Gary, Will, Wisco, Shane, Chang, Sam, JK, Ricky. Yeah, a bunch of you guys got that membership. Okay, cool. So let's keep going from there. Vince, hello, Amit. I haven't seen you in a while. Hello from Sweden. Good to see you, my friend. Vince, make sure you're free December 20th. We are doing Palantir Weekly, which is this Friday, full recap. So it's a good time for me to announce it. CodeStrap's going to be on the show. We're going to be doing a recap of 2024 for Palantir. So Vince, make sure, I sent the message in the group chat, but just make sure you saw it. Make sure you're there and make sure you have an ugly Christmas sweater. If you guys remember last year, we had an ugly Christmas sweater Palantir recap. So make sure you have an ugly Christmas sweater. And this Friday, 11 p.m., we will be doing the full Palantir 2024 recap. So that will be fun coming up this week. All right, Tesla. Let's talk Tessie. So, I mean, what is there to say other than Tesla's defying the laws of gravity and expectations? It's up another 2.23%. It ended the day yesterday up 7% at 463. Now it's at 473. I mean, what do you say? The only thing I think you can say is that the cat's out of the bag and the street figured it out. And what do I mean by the street figured it out? It's not that the street didn't understand, like, there's this amazing generational company with one of the world's best entrepreneurs called Tesla, or called Elon Musk, who's created Tesla, that's out there. But it's that the street figured out a couple things that are going to be inevitable. And the things that are inevitable are, well, really two things: FSD and robotics. Now, why am I saying the street figured this out? Because take a look at Mizuho's explanation yesterday on their valuation, or on their upgrade to 515. Dan Ives also upgraded them to 515. They said we have a $1.8 trillion valuation, which would put the stock price at 515. And this is how you come up with it on a sum of the parts. 711 billion for auto, energy, and other. FSD and robotaxi gives you 614 billion. And then humanoid robotics gives you $472 billion. This right there, I think, was one of the best upgrades, because it wasn't just saying Tesla's going to go up. It's actually giving you some analysis on how they get to like that $1.8 trillion market cap, which would give Tesla a $515 stock price. But they're also explaining, yeah, we think 500 billion of this 1.8 trillion is actually humanoid robotics. By the way, Elon hasn't shipped a single robot or made a single dime of revenue on humanoid robotics, but we think it's going to be that important that we're going to give it a $500 billion part of the overall valuation that's inside of Tesla. Meaning, Mizuho is telling their clients to buy Tesla right now because they believe that the humanoid robotics division will be worth at least $472 billion, which would justify the stock price getting to the levels that they're claiming at 515. Now, it's funny because, as Benny says right there, if you really believed in robotics, it wouldn't be just 400 billion or 500 billion. It would be closer to the trillions. Now, obviously, these analysts cannot say that right now because they're, they have to be very short term and they can't give such a big expectation in terms of the future. But the point is, the cat's out of the bag. The street has realized this game is inevitable. Tesla's won. We saw GM basically say that Cruise is over, right? They shut down Cruise the other day. Waymo is actually catching up in terms of like being a really good quote unquote robo-taxi, but it's kind of just Waymo and Tesla that's left, right? And if you think Tesla's going to be better and their technology is going to be better, their AI is going to be better, then I think Tesla can eventually take market share over time as they expand to Texas and California. And then when you put in robotics on the list as well, we saw Figure AI CEO Brett Adcock said we just shipped our first Figure humanoid 2 robot version 2 to one of our commercial customers. I mean, you can only imagine if a $2 billion startup is shipping robots to commercial customers, that Tesla behind the scenes is at least piloting Optimus inside of different enterprises. And the analysts probably understand that that's happening, and they want to get ahead of the story before there's a headline in a couple months that says Tesla gets XYZ customer with XYZ deal for Optimus. And so from that perspective, I think there's nothing other to say than Tesla's really on its own trajectory right here. Do I think the stock is overextended? Yeah, I do think it's getting up there in terms of valuation, but quite frankly, it doesn't matter. This is a momentum play. And the way we really know it's a momentum play is because the $850 strike call option, I believe for the end of 2025, from that June to December range, so second half of 2025, $30 million was spent yesterday buying the $850 call option for Tesla in 1 year, or less than a year at this point. So when you see that, you start, also the $700 call has 6,000 options open, I believe, for September of 2025 as well. People are buying out of the money call options to the tune of 700, 800, which is a little bit of a double from here in the context of Tesla. Well, now it's not really that much of a double. If Tesla gets closer to 500, it's going to be like 80% up because they think there is legit a chance that Tesla gets to those levels. Now, that's a little scary to me because Jesse, who has been heavy into Tesla, he was buying the $330 strike for June 2026 when Tesla was 130. So credit to him. He's been really pounding the table on these Tesla options. He responded to my tweet yesterday and he said, "This is stupid because I'm deleveraging," meaning Jesse's selling his Tesla options now that they're up 4 or 5x. At the same time, while people are going balls deep into even harder leverage than he went into, because 100 to 300, although that's hard to see happening, it happened. And you could kind of imagine Tesla getting back to that fair value. But from 400 to 800, it is a little difficult to see that thing in the next 7 months just doubling, even though obviously, the market thinks that there is a good chance that could happen. So the fact that some people are deleveraging and other people are levering up just means to say that the call buying activity on Tesla is massive. The momentum is massive. The excitement is massive. The Trump relationship is massive. Humanoid robotics is massive. FSD is massive. Energy is massive. And right now, you've got a lot of people that are excited for Tesla. Now, I asked you guys in the chat yesterday who's buying Tesla, and I think maybe 5% of you said that they're actually buying Tesla in this 450 range, which is fair, especially if you bought in the summer. I mean, you don't really need to be buying here. But I'm just curious who's buying. And I think it's a mix of retail and a mix of institutional analysts that are chasing the stock into the year end. If you think this is going to be one of the best performers of 2025 because of all the catalysts I just mentioned, you probably have to have it in your portfolio, and that's what some of these money managers are thinking. And that's why Tesla is gaining the momentum that it's gaining right now. One other piece of news on Tesla, and then we'll move on, is their China business seems to not be doing too bad. So Tesla China had 18,452 units that were insured last week, and that was the third best week of Q4 so far. So, I mean, you got deliveries that are ramping up. You got production that's ramping up. You got that 0% APR incentive that definitely got people excited. And I'm assuming, I bought a Tesla because of it, right? So I would imagine a lot of people took advantage of that. Even if Q1 and Q2 of 2025, we're going to see a slight dip because of the EV credit going away. And in general, people maybe not being as incentivized to buy Tesla. Q4 is going to be amazing. And if Q4, they can announce a little bit more than just deliveries, something around Optimus, maybe something more around FSD, which I'm assuming they're going to announce. By the way, FSD 13, the head of FSD said yesterday, is rolling out to all customers. So you got a lot more people getting access to FSD as of yesterday. I mean, you put 2 and 2 together, that's what gets the street excited for something that is the best real world application of AI, right? We don't really know in AI in the real world. We know Palantir in the enterprise, NVIDIA with the chips, but like what's the actual real world manifestation of that? It's going to be FSD. And I think that's why the market is excited right now in the context of Tesla. I hope Bill Gates doesn't have that short on Tesla. Yeah, I mean, look, the Tesla short float, if you actually looked at it, it is 2.76%. There is not a large short float on Tesla. However, because the shorts are so underwater, I mean, imagine you short a Tesla at 150 and you haven't covered your short. There could be a bit of a gamma squeeze going on here in terms of how short you are. Also, some of these covered calls that people are buying back because, they want to keep their Tesla shares and maybe they had covered calls at 300, 350. We had TJ who had covered calls at 280. He rolled those up to 340. He had to, get rid of some calls, get new calls, and all of this creates even more and more pressure on the stock. And that could be one of the reasons for why the stock is continuing to gain momentum right now. So that's what we got in the context of Tesla. And today is going to be another day for us to see how Tesla continues to do, and if we can get above 475. I mean, we are only 5.7% away from 500. It's not that crazy. We're only 5.7% away. So if we're only that far away, that could happen in a day. And if that happens today, then that would be very, very exciting for Tesla. Okay, let's move on to SoFi. So SoFi is $17 in the pre-market. Why is that happening? Well, something happened yesterday. Anthony Noto, quote unquote, sold 2 million shares of SoFi for $33 million yesterday. Now, I say quote unquote because it's kind of like a call option if you look at the finer details. And the finer details imply that he's using the 2 million shares that he quote unquote sold as collateral. And if the stock goes up above the strike price, which is basically $17, then he would only be required to pay for 1 million worth of the shares, saving half of that money and being able to essentially use it as a call option to have more upside and limited downside if the stock continues to go higher. However, if the stock were to tank to $8, he would be paying 4x the amount because he would have to be paying for the full 2 million shares, and then that would be $33 million, but the value of the underlying shares would be much lower than $33 million. So it's a tactic that the bulls on SoFi are claiming is a unique way for Noto to basically not have to sell these shares, but to use these shares as collateral to eventually sell them in the future at a much lower price if the stock goes higher. The most important thing about this is that he's betting on the stock going higher, and that's the sort of uniqueness of this trade. That's why people are excited about this trade. It's not just a flat out sell. By the way, if he did have a flat out sell, I don't think anyone would be upset at him because the man deserves it. He hasn't sold in over 3 years. He's only been buying. So I didn't have a problem when I thought it was a sale, but now I think it's even better if it's not a sale. The counter argument to this is he could just be doing this for tax purposes, and it could be just a strategic way, some, high net worth type of stuff where you just, you talk with the bankers. Goldman Sachs is doing this. He's ex-Goldman, and they're working together, and they're finding out a way for him to like save money by not really selling, but selling in the future, yada, yada. And it could be a tax play. So either it's like a bullish, I like SoFi, I'm going to buy my shares back in the future at a lower price type of thing and make the difference and save money, or I just want to save on my taxes right now. And that's kind of the way he's navigating it. So you had Noto do that yesterday. And then you have the EVP of the Borrow unit who bought 30,000 shares. Now, I know 30,000 shares doesn't sound like a ton of shares, but the guy only has 46,000 shares from what I'm understanding. So he bought a decent amount of shares at the open market at $16. This number might necessarily be wrong, or there might be a different number here, but for buying 30,000 shares at $16.34 after a more than 100% run up from the bottom, to me is kind of bullish. Again, I know this is the common saying, but insiders are only buying for one reason. They could be selling for a trillion reasons, but you only buy a stock if you think it's going to go up, right? You're not buying a stock because you think it's going to go down. So regardless of how many shares the guy has or how many shares he bought, even if he bought 1,000 shares, the point is there is an insider inside of the company that believes they are fundamentally undervalued. He's the head of the Borrow unit, so auto loans, home loans, etc. He's probably thinking, hey, wait a second, loan originations are going through the roof. 2025 is going to be even more bullish when it comes to financials. Why the hell am I not having more exposure to the company that I work at when I'm seeing the data in front of me when it comes to loan originations? And as a result of that, you got SoFi that is up right now in the pre-markets at $17.06, up 1.13%. SoFi is now officially above the market cap, in which it will be eligible for the S&P 500. If it can hold this $17 level, then it will potentially get into the S&P 500 next year, probably the second half of next year. There's at least going to be the chance for it to get in. But that's pretty exciting. And that's a hell of a Christmas gift going into the end of the year, seeing SoFi get to this $17 level. $20 does not seem too far away. It just does not seem too far away. And now it seems like next year, 20 is very possible, if not even 25, as the loan originations continue to gain momentum, along with them being profitable, which is going to be very exciting for SoFi. Is SoFi a buy at this price? If given 2025 is going to be a year of financials, I would be selling puts at 14 to 15. I wouldn't just straight out buy it at 17 because you could always see a little bit of a dip, but I don't think it's the craziest thing. I mean, if an insider's buying at 16.34, there's not really a difference between 16.34 and 17. So at that point, you're kind of betting with the insiders. So I don't think it's the craziest buy currently at these levels. So that's what we got on SoFi. All right, let's transition to Palantir. So Palantir down 3.26%. Again, I will sound like a broken record every single day, every time I say this, but it is okay for Palantir to be down. I think as a community, we have to get used to the fact that Palantir is up a lot. And it is okay for it to take a breather. It is okay for it to end the year below $70. That is not a bad thing. The stock is trading at a 79 times price to sales. Guys, I just want people to remember that is unheard of in software businesses. Like that doesn't happen. A B2B enterprise company does not get an 80 times price to sales. That doesn't happen. It's happening because it's Palantir. You know what I'm saying? It's the same reason why everything's happened for Palantir, because it's Palantir. At the end of the day, it's Palantir. And so it's just one of those things to remember that, yeah, that multiple could get compressed a little bit as long as they continue their earnings growth. I think the market will reward them and probably give them a healthy premium with their earnings growth. But we got to remember that the reason it's down 3% is probably because it's extended. Now, my conspiracy reason is that Palantir, I saw a stat yesterday, this is unverified, but $3.7 billion will be buying Palantir stock going in from inflows based on the QQQ weighted adjusted allocation on Friday when the rebalance happens. 2.1 billion will be buying MicroStrategy. So if that's the case, market makers might be wanting to hold this thing down so their buddies can get a much better price. We'll see if that can ultimately happen. But that's kind of the reason I also think it's down. The other reason is just it's up 300-something% year to date. It's taking a little bit of a breather. So I think that might be one of the reasons for why we're seeing a little bit of weakness there, down about 3%. Now, Karp did do an interview yesterday. And Karp's interview with Stanley Druckenmiller was to promote his new book that's coming out next year. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now. But here's some clips from the book. Here's one clip I'll play. I have a bunch of different clips, but here's one of the clips where he's talking about why Palantir has been able to, maintain their values over the past 20 years. Let's listen to this real quick, and then we'll keep going from there. You guys can't hear the audio? You guys can't? Really? That's so weird. I can hear the audio. Volume is that low. Someone said, I agree with Carp here. Oh my gosh. That's so weird. Hold on. Let me fix that. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right, let me play this. Let's play it from here. Sorry. Okay, how about now? This should be good now. Let me know if the audio sucks. Let me know.
And that's been true for 20 years. It's one thing to have a startup where you have the highest peak of parent. Popular, but and more aligned actually with the venture community because it's newly pro-American.
Okay, the audio sucks, bro. The audio is weird. That's not even that's weird, guys. This is a video I downloaded from their YouTube. That's weird. Why is the audio that bad? I don't know why the audio is that bad. Sorry about that. I don't know. That audio does suck. I don't know why. It was a little bit better, but it was cutting out. Yeah. That was weird. Okay, so I'm gonna have to fix that audio. I don't know how that happened. That was from their thing. But let me just show you one thing then instead of that. This should work on YouTube because we're directly on YouTube. So this should work right here. So instead of that clip, I'll clip that up later and we'll share it later. I don't know why that's happening. Let me just share this little Christmas message that Carp gave to everybody. This is like 30 seconds, and then we'll go from there.
But I've really profited a lot in many ways from our many interactions, and there's the moral force that.
Dude, the audio still sucks. That's not me. That's the YouTube video. That's not me. That's the YouTube video. That's just playing a regular video from. I mean, if playing a regular video from YouTube that's something wrong with Palantir's video. That's really bad. He's not whispering. He sounds normal, but the volume is very low. Yeah, no, it's not my internal audio. You know why it's not my internal audio? It's not me. You know why? Because someone clipped up these tweets yesterday as well. John from the community, they were on the show the other day, and their audio sucked too. Like, let me show you guys. Their audio was so bad, and I was wondering why. Their audio was horrible as well. Yeah, I'm listening to it right now. I'm not going to play it, but their audio sucked. If you go to their Twitter, their audio sucked. And I texted my friend yesterday. I was like, is this audio bad or it's just me? It's like, no, the audio is bad. I think something's wrong with the audio file on that YouTube interview, because for me to play it from YouTube and for it to still be that crackly means that there's just something weird with the audio. Not a good look for the world's best AI company. Yeah, that's weird. It's not me, it's you. I hear that all the time. Oh, Craig. But that's weird. Okay, so that's why the stock is down, guys. That's why it's down 3%. So I'll clean up the audio. I'll put it into some AI audio stuff, and hopefully we can fix that up, and I'll post it later. The point is, he basically was saying, what the exact quote was, I hope you didn't short our stock. Have a Merry Christmas, but if you did, it's not gonna be that merry. So that was the funny show, quote that I was trying to show. Other than that, that's weird. I don't know why the audio is that bad, but not a good look. That's probably why the stock is down 3% right now. Anyway, let's move on from Palantir. Nothing else to say too much about Palantir. They had a partnership yesterday with Red Cat. That was a good drone partnership, but that audio thing is weird. I'll clean up the videos and we'll share it later. Palantir needs SoundHound AI. Yeah, I found the use case for SoundHound now. SoundHound, by the way, down about 2%. It was up another 16% yesterday. Pretty incredible. But that one currently is down 2% in the pre-markets. Okay, let's move on to the semis. NVIDIA, what's going on with NVIDIA? So I am curious to you guys, before I give my explanation, why do you think NVIDIA is down? Why do you think NVIDIA? I would love to know any explanations for why people think NVIDIA is down. Why do you think NVIDIA is getting hit right here? NVIDIA right now below 130. Oh, wow. Hold on. Noto just gave SoFi metrics. Really? Really? Hold on. Did SoFi just give out metrics before Q4? Oh, shit. That's right. Anthony Noto, 10 million members. 10 million members. We'll go back to the semis in a second. 10 million SoFi members. They gave their metrics before Q4. So this is pre-releasing their metrics. This is really bullish because that means they're really excited for Q4. SoFi's 10 million members have meaningful strides on their path to independence. Financial independence, they've collectively earned 12.5 billion reward points, paid down 33 billion in credit card debt, borrowed 117 billion to fund their ambitions, including 44 billion in refinanced student loans, 9 billion in funded home loans. Noto said hitting the 10 million member tank is more than just a number. This milestone represents the tangible ways we've helped our members get their money right on their path to financial independence. Where is SoFi stock right now? That is big news. 10 million members. Are we green on that news? Kind of. I mean, we're up 1%. Nothing too crazy from there. But that's good. 10 million members for SoFi. That's not bad. 10 million members for SoFi. So there you go. I think that should be good news interpreted by the street later today. It's already up right now, 1%, probably off the news from last night. So when the market opens, we will kind of see how that impacts SoFi. All right, back to NVIDIA. So Derek says in the chat, 120 is the price to buy. What is your buy price on NVIDIA? That's the next question. What is your buy price on NVIDIA? And then I'll get into my thesis for why I think NVIDIA is down. Josh says, admit, what do you think about Uber at $60? Has to be too cheap. I think Uber is cheap, but the problem is their narrative sucks compared to Tesla. So if you buy it, you're taking the risk that the narrative will change. And right now, I don't know if the narrative is going to change, at least in the short term, against Tesla. Okay, so most people have the same price as Derek, 120, 125-ish, 100, 115, etc. I agree. Look, I think NVIDIA is a buy right now in the 130s. I think NVIDIA definitely is undervalued, but I do think if it gets to 120, it becomes a screaming buy. Here is the reason I think NVIDIA is down right now. I think the market's already given NVIDIA a $3.23 trillion market cap, right? Well, sometimes we forget NVIDIA is worth, almost $3.5 trillion. I think the market is saying, wait a second. Until we see the tangible ROI on Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft next year, probably, hopefully, by first quarter 2025, if not the latest by second quarter 2025, we cannot think that this party for NVIDIA will continue to be as glorious as it's been, because now we're 3 years into the AI market. We need to see a tangible ROI. What do I mean by tangible ROI? I mean, if Zucks can't get on an earnings call and just say, oh, give us time, we're going to keep buying GPUs, we'll figure it out. I think the market in 2025 is going to be a little impatient. They're going to say, Zucks, you've had 3 years. You've bought God knows how many GPUs. Like, where's the ROI? Now, granted, Meta has already shown a massive ROI in their advertising capabilities because obviously their advertising has improved so much because of AI targeting with their GPUs. But I think the street wants more. And I think until the street really sees the ROI, by the way, I think it's kind of stupid for the street to be like this because we're seeing all the stuff Google's putting out. We're seeing their new models. We're seeing their voice to text. I mean, we're seeing so many different things that are only possible because of those GPUs and are only going to be getting better and better because Blackwell is going to be followed up by an even better version of GPUs. So it's kind of weird for the street to think like this, but I think historically meaning over the past 8 quarters, the street has been very skeptical of NVIDIA until they get the earnings results. Then they start buying up the stock and they start upgrading it because they think that, NVIDIA is going to be the next AI revolution of the next millennium, right? And I think the street will feel like that again in 2025 if the other hyperscalers continue to say that they're not going to stop spending on CapEx. So the moment we see any decrease of CapEx spending, I think the street's going to get very scared. I think that street's going to get very, very scared. And that is one thing that is, I think, kind of holding back NVIDIA currently right now. Sachin says one's buy price of NVIDIA should be driven by one's expectations of NVIDIA's future price and time period. If it's long, then there's time is now, as there's no certainty that it will go 20 to 120. If short, then getting more discount is always welcome because if you can go wrong, it's kind of a stock one can hold. I agree. So if you buy NVIDIA and it tanks 10%, this is a stock you can hold for a long time, or at least the next 4 or 5 years, in my opinion. So it's not, the worst thing in the world. And that's why selling puts on this thing also is not horrible at 120, 115. But if your expectations of NVIDIA are you want 150 by next month, and it tanks, you might be not happy with the purchase that you made on NVIDIA. So I think you have to have a better long-term trajectory in terms of how you're thinking of NVIDIA. But I think the main reason the street's a little worried about NVIDIA is they want to know hyperscalers are spending on CapEx, hyperscalers are getting an ROI, and that means demand for NVIDIA is not going away. Now, Jensen has already said that this is not an issue. But it seems like the street never believes him, because if they believed him, they would be buying this thing hand over fist, because NVIDIA is still going to compound at least 40 to 50% next year, which is close to $250 billion of revenue. Like if you think that's happening, then you buy NVIDIA. But every time we go through this song and dance with NVIDIA, where like the street just isn't sure that it's going to happen. And it didn't help when NVIDIA didn't really give them the whisper numbers on guidance expectations. You know, the street wanted 40 billion. NVIDIA said 37.5 billion. Why? Because NVIDIA is sandbagging, because they want to beat expectations, but the street doesn't want to see the sandbag. The street wants to know what's happening. And that's why I think the stock is in the gutter right now, along with the fact that Broadcom basically came and, you know, made NVIDIA the ugly stepchild. And Broadcom is now the princess in terms of how much AI opportunity they're going after. The street gave Broadcom $250 billion of market cap within 2 days. We haven't seen that, you know, all year. And so the fact that that's happening and taking away a little bit of money from NVIDIA. Also, Tesla, I think, is taking away a little bit of money from NVIDIA. Hell, Bitcoin could be taking away a little bit of money from NVIDIA. You have some people that are probably selling off some of their NVIDIA stock. They're going to other areas of the market, diversifying, which is normal, which is healthy. But that is why I think NVIDIA is currently getting hit right now, down about 2.27%. And that's the problem. I think that's one of the problems with NVIDIA. Alex says, no, I think people are just chasing Bitcoin and Tesla. Yeah, that could be another reason why money is not going into NVIDIA as well. Another reason also is software applications of AI, right? So we saw IGV, the software ETF, massively outperformed the semis ETF last month by about 15%. Why? Because more money is coming into Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, Palantir, Intuit, Zscaler, Salesforce, all these, not Adobe. Adobe got hit really badly after earnings, but all these companies are getting some love because the market essentially thinks that they're going to have the best applications of AI, and the GPUs are not going to be as important going into next year. I think semiconductors are still going to have a really good year. I don't think their year is going to be bad in 2025. The only thing I am worried about is when or if the hyperscalers imply that they're going to slow down their spend a little bit. Now, all of them said they're spending as much as they can in 2025. But, you know, by Q2, Q3, if they say that they want to slow down a little bit, that's going to be one of those things to watch out for. But as long as they keep that spend up, because again, NVIDIA gets paid by the hyperscalers, that's what I think will help NVIDIA continue to get some momentum. Benny says you still need GPUs for all that software to work. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the moat for NVIDIA. That's why I think if it gets to 120, it's a screaming buy, because all those softwares are going to need better models. Like, at the end of the day, even if Palantir is operationalizing the LLMs into the enterprise, the LLMs need to get better for Palantir's workflows to get better inside of a hospital. And so the only way for the LLMs to get better is for Gemini and OpenAI to make better models. How do they make better models? They have to buy GPUs. If they buy GPUs, NVIDIA gets paid. And if that system of build out is not happening, or that cycle of a build out is not stopping for the next 5 years, or at least 3 years, you know, NVIDIA should get the momentum that people are hoping for. So I think right now stock price is just a little, you know, sentiment's not the best on NVIDIA. That's okay. But I think eventually that will come back. And realistically, the time to buy is not at 150 when everyone loves it. It's at 130 when people are kind of questioning it, if you believe in that long-term thesis. All right, couple of headlines. We got 7 minutes until the market opens. Thank you, everybody, for being here as well. We got some Google news with Waymo. Google's been on a tear, hasn't it? I mean, Google has absolutely been crushing it. Still the most undervalued Mag 7. Quantum computing basically brought them back to life. Now Waymo is picking Tokyo for international robo-taxi testing. Alphabet Google's Waymo will test its self-driving Jaguar vehicles in Tokyo starting early 2025, marking its first step outside of the US, partnering with Nihon Katsu and tax app Go. Waymo will initially map key Tokyo districts with human drivers. Testing aims to adapt Waymo's AI tech to left-hand traffic and Tokyo's dense urban landscape. So you've got one of the first expansions of self-driving and robo-taxis into a different part of the world in Japan. I've never been to Japan. I have no idea what the traffic is like in Japan. I know the traffic in India is horrible, and I think there's no way that a robotaxi would be able to operate there. But in Japan, I guess it's different, and we're testing it. So if Waymo is the first place that Google's going after, I would imagine Tesla potentially gets excited as well to, or Tokyo's the first place Waymo's going after. I imagine Tesla's also thinking of that. But Tesla just needs to get California and Texas right, and if they can get those two right, then I think the future would be good for expanding internationally. One headline on NVIDIA for why NVIDIA is also down. Another reason, China's antitrust regulator to investigate more U.S. tech acquisitions after launching a probe into NVIDIA's 2020 Mellanox deal. So that's another reason I forgot to mention why NVIDIA has been down the past couple of weeks. China is investigating them. Is that really a big deal? Not really. But now China is investigating other companies that were part of that acquisition that NVIDIA did in 2020. Again, I think that's really stupid because China needs to be stimulating right now. But that's one of the things that's happening. And that could be another reason for why sentiment on NVIDIA is down. Bitcoin 107.7. Bitcoin is just $100 away from gapping up above all-time highs at 107.8. We got SoundHound right here down 1.62%. Tesla's up 2.36. Robinhood's down about 1.62%. Robinhood had a good day yesterday, so it's probably consolidating right there. Archer's down a little bit. Meta's down a little bit. SoFi up 1.24% currently right now, and Tesla at 2.45%. Again, Bitcoin just slightly away at this point from hitting all-time highs. HIMS got a new price target as well. HIMS got a $42 price target today by Morgan Stanley. So is HIMS up on this news? HIMS is probably up. HIMS is up a little bit, up 1%, 31.48 currently right now in the pre-markets. Morgan Stanley says, we view HIMS as a compelling compounding investment, no pun intended. Funny. We estimate a revenue CAGR of 30% from 2024 to 2026, building on a very strong growth of 80% per annum in the last 3 years. The company has established itself with one of the stronger track records spanning the domain of digital health and DTC, and we look for management to guide and build on this success. So, I mean, essentially they're saying, hey, they're going to grow. And if they're going to continue to grow, their revenue estimates should go higher. EBITDA estimates should go higher. They are profitable. They should be able to continue to expand into different offerings outside of just their core offerings. GLP obviously is a big catalyst for them. And so if you're a HIMS bull and you believe in that thesis, the Amazon bear case that took HIMS back to 17 3 weeks ago probably was one of the best dip buys that you could have if you actually believed in HIMS. And that's why it's important to like understand the company and understand when the competition arguments are probably just FUD. And now you're sitting on basically a double with HIMS right here at $31, which is not bad at all. Some of the quantum computing stocks, let's take a look at them. IONQ is down a little bit in the pre-markets. QBTS is up in the pre-markets. QBTS is up 13.4% after going up 44% yesterday. So again, that quantum wave is really not slowing down for some of these names, and Google just further accelerated that. And you got Google in the pre-markets right now up about 0.15%, 198, trying to get to that $200 level. Riggedy Computing as well, up 10% after being up 70% yesterday. So that one continuing to gain some excitement here in the quantum space. Amazon in the pre-markets. Where is Amazon? Amazon is down a little bit, 232. Let's check all the Max 7. By the way, Apple closed above 250 yesterday, which was great. 251, down a little bit in the pre-markets. Meta's down a little bit. Microsoft's down a little bit. Google's up. Amazon's down. Nvidia's down. And then Tesla, 476. Holy crap. That is a new all-time high in the pre-markets for Tesla. All right, so let's do this. We got 2 minutes until the market opens. Let's do a pump or dump. Let's see what you guys think. Tesla pump or dump as the market opens. Let's see what you guys think. Pump or dump as the market opens. I think we pump. I think the momentum's strong. I think we pump into the market open. Could I see a little bit of a pullback? Sure. I could see 478 going to 470 or maybe 468. But I think we kind of pump. Retail sales data was good. We've got a rate cuts coming up tomorrow. I think it could pump. I could be wrong, but I think they tend to get sold off when they're this high in the pre-market that historically it tends to dump a little bit more, but I think it could gain some momentum right here. So we got about a minute left and all eyes on Tesla. We're going to see what happened here. Is Powell bought a Cybertruck, so pump. Dude, if Powell actually bought a Cybertruck and posted that would be amazing. All right, 69% of you, I love that, say pump. 32% say dump. So we got 69-31 on pump or dump. Let's see what ends up happening right here. Bitcoin's all-time highs. Are we at all-time highs on Bitcoin? We are just below. We're like $50 below, or close to $90 below all-time highs, but it is getting up there. So Bitcoin's doing well. We'll check out all the Bitcoin proxies, but Tesla right here, 476. All right, folks, here we go. 2 seconds. Tuesday, December 17th, 9:30 a.m. Thank you for everybody for being here. The stock market is now open. Wake your ass up. Here we go. Is kind of red. It's green, but it's red from the pre-market. 473. Pre-markets were at 476. Got a red candle right there. You got people selling. You need buyers to step in at these levels. Volume is 48.4 million shares. It's going down, but it's still green. So far, holding the green. You're getting a little bit of a dump from the top of the pre-market, which tends to happen. But it's still holding that 470 level. 471 right now in Tesla, up 1.83%. We'll get back to Tesla in just a second. We got Google right here, 199, trying to get 200. Adobe's down a little bit. Meta is up 1%. SoFi 1690. So SoFi got dumped from that 1705 range. Robinhood got dumped about 3%. Robinhood, so you got some people taking profits on Robinhood. Bitcoin 107,747, very close. Archer down 0.5%. Pouncer down 2.1%. It's actually green from the pre-markets. Big Bear AI is up 3.4%. Verizon's down a little bit. Celsius is down 1.2%. Tesla is getting dumped. Tesla down 1.7%. I mean, up 1.7%, but it's down from the first one. Audio is going in and out. All right, let me change my audio. Sorry. Let me change my audio. This was happening yesterday as well. Okay, change my audio. It's not going to be as crisp, but it should be less going in and out. Sorry about that. I think that's a StreamYard thing, guys. I'm sorry. I think it's a StreamYard thing. It's not my mic. It happened last night as well. So hopefully it's good. Is it good? Is it good? It's worse? Oh my God, it's worse. Okay, hold on. Let's switch that real quick. Let's switch it to... Okay, this is my camera. Well, this is my camera. This is probably going to suck, but it's at least better. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to switch back to the regular mic, and hopefully that's okay. We're going to switch back to the regular mic, and hopefully that's okay. Here we go. Regular mic. We're back to the regular. Is that better? Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Regular mic. No, it still sucks. Damn it. It still sucks. Still sucks. Okay, we'll go back to the sucky one. And hopefully we'll... All right, here we go. Here we go. Back into it. Sorry, guys, if it's not the best. Again, this is a StreamYard thing, I think, more than anything. It's a StreamYard thing more than anything. Better. Meta right here, 632. Do you know sign language? Oh my gosh. This is worse. All right, then I guess we go back to the mic that was still cutting in and out, but you guys said it was better. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I think it's more StreamYard. It's not the mic. It's StreamYard. It's not the mic. It's StreamYard. Should be better. Oh my God, this is so hard to see. Last one was better. Some of you guys are saying better. No. Go back. This is awful. The aliens are in your room. I think the aliens are in my freaking room, bro. This is what's happening. This is good. Okay, this is good. We're gonna stay with this one. I'll try to fix it in a little bit, but this is good with that one. All right, so we'll keep going. MicroStrategy down 504 or 405. It would be awesome if it was 504. It's 404, down about 1.1%. So MicroStrategy is getting hit. Rick, they had earnings yesterday. Again, this is the company that owns a bunch of strip clubs in America. They're up 12%. They beat on EPS. This one is up currently right now. This one's doing good. Hims is up 4.8%. Google 199.84. Tesla. Oh man, Tesla got dumped. Tesla got dumped badly. Holy crap. Tesla got dumped bad. Tesla got hit. Grabs below 5. Okay, there we go. Grab, I've been waiting for that one. There you go. Grab's 498. So that one got hit. I don't think there's any news on Grab other than the fact that there's just weakness right here. 498 on Grab. That's down 2.9%. Let's see how low it can go. We'll be buying some more Grab today. Tesla 467. So that 470 pump got faded pretty quickly as it got hit. Maybe just selling. Yeah, you're right. Maybe selling. GameStop right here, $30. GameStop's up 3%. So GameStop's getting some outperformance right here. Now people are selling Tesla and buying NVIDIA. Where is Tesla or where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA's still down, bro. Holy crap. NVIDIA's getting hit. Dude, we better not get the Grinch coming before Santa, bro. We better not get the Grinch coming. We have like freaking 13 days left of December. Can we just have a good end of year, please? Can we not have a crappy end of year? Where's the S&P? S&P's down 0.5%. The Qs are down 0.5%. Oh boy. Tesla's still holding up. It's up 1.4% somehow. Tesla's holding up. NVIDIA's getting smacked. Google's up. Is Apple down? Apple is still down, but it's holding 250. NVIDIA's down 3%. NVIDIA's down 3% right now. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. We are definitely seeing some red right here. Meta's strong. Yeah, Meta's holding up. The rest of these guys are getting hit. The rest of these guys are getting hit pretty badly currently right now. SoFi's down. Is SoFi down as well? SoFi, yeah, SoFi hit as well, down 1.3%. 1.3%. SoFi's getting hit. Okay, audio should be good. Audio should be good now. I just tested audio. I think no sound. Dude, what is going on with this shit, bro?
Oh, weird, bro. The aliens are at StreamYard. It's something that's messing up the audio because we haven't had this problem in 10 months. I don't know why this is happening now, but it should be better now. Yeah, that's weird today. That's weird. Grab right back at 5, still down at 2.5%. Tesla 465. Tesla just getting dumped right from 470. Now it's just a little away from tanking below 460. The plumber messed up the mic. Oh my gosh, bro. I think it's the aliens, bro. We haven't had audio problems. My light went out the other day for 2 hours yesterday. Like, we haven't had any of these issues in years. Like, this is not a neighborhood that has power issues. And then yesterday they said it's the rain. Get the hell out of here, bro. It's not the rain. It's freaking R2D21 or something messing up. That's not even an alien, right? Is that an alien? That's from Star Wars. I don't know. I never watched Star Wars. But the point is, I think it's the aliens. NVIDIA right here down 3.2%. NVIDIA is really taking it on the chin. Tesla is just $1 away from going red. Google's 199. Google's somehow holding up. Where's Palantir in the midst of all of this carnage? Palantir's down 4% as well. Palantir's down 4% as well. I don't know. We got some red. Now, granted, I mean, I'm being a little hyperbolic here. Like, this is not that crazy, right? The S&P is down 0.5%. Like, a lot of these stocks have run like crazy. We can't be complaining that much about this red, but we are seeing a little bit of red. I think someone right here said in the chat that's profit taking before. Where's it? Getting smashed. Yeah, well, it was at 41.41, now back at 42. It's a little recovery. I do think people are afraid of what JPow's going to do tomorrow, and maybe that's the reason people are taking some profits. That could also be a really simple reason why this is happening. That could also be a simple reason why this is happening currently right now. No sound again. No, the sound should be there. Sound should be there. Sound should be there. I hear the sound on my iPhone. You might have to refresh the screen. The sound is definitely there. I can hear it on my side. Sound should definitely be there. But what I was saying is, I think JPow. People are afraid that JPow is going to do something, and that's why they're taking profits. I mean, someone said that in the comments. I think that's fair. Amazon down 1.3%. Tesla 465. I think part of the reason is people are a little curious. Are we really going to get this rate cut? Now, I think we're definitely going to get this rate cut. But if we don't, for some reason, Bitcoin at least holding up at 107, that would be the part that people get. It's still no sound, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what the heck is happening right here. I really don't. Here's one thing. Let me switch back to the good mic again. Let's give it another try and see if it's okay. Back to the good mic. It still sucks. Looks. I don't know, guy. I'm sorry about this guy. I have no idea. I have no idea why. Should be a little. Sound like we're in the bathroom because the aliens are taking over, bro. That's why. Should be a little. No, this one sucks even more. Oh my god, this is so bad, bro. Holy. Hold on. It says emit iPhone microphone. Can I use my iPhone as a microphone? Is that a thing? Okay. Hold on. You guys hear me? Is this a thing? Do you guys hear me from my iPhone? Connected to Emit's Mac Pro. You can disconnect to remove this iPhone from the Mac microphone. Hold on. Is this a thing? Is it working? Is this a thing? Let's see. Can you hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Is it working? Okay, it's still a little but like at least it's better than what we were using, right? It's not the best, but it's better than what we're using. All right, folks, we're using the iPhone today. That's really cool. At least it connects to the iPhone. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sorry. It's the aliens. It's not me. It's the aliens. Okay, we're gonna leave my phone there. Hopefully that's better. At least it doesn't cut out. Quality is not the best, but we'll keep it there. That is weird. I did not know you could use your phone as a microphone there. But hopefully not the worst thing in the world. Okay, cool. So it's good enough. All right, it's good enough for today. I'll figure it out before the market close. We'll fix it. I think it's the alien, but
realistically, it's probably something going on with StreamYard, to be honest. And we might just not use StreamYard for the next couple of days of this. Robinhood right here, 41.45. That's down 4%. Apple 251. SoFi is down 3%. Palantir is down 3%. S&P 500 3. S&P 500, that one's down about 0.5%. Nvidia 3%. GameStop, ironically, this is a crazy market, dude. GameStop is 6%, and the rest of the market is down. I mean, the fact that money is going into GameStop over the rest of the market is kind of ridiculous. Maybe it's YouTube. Yeah, there were some other streamers that said there were some issues going on, so it could be a YouTube thing. I don't think it's a mic thing. This mic has been working well. We'll try to use a different software today in the afternoon. Archer today announced Archer Defense, a new arm to their company. Okay, that's bullish. They just partnered with Anduril, so it makes sense. Archer down about 1.6%. That's actually really bullish. I mean, the Anduril partnership makes sense that they're getting into the defense space. And the defense space obviously has a ton of money coming into it now with Trump ready to spend, right? Particularly on stuff that works along with Elon. So if Archer can build some really dope, that's not a horrible argument. Is AMD getting dumped? Is AMD getting dumped right here? Oh my God, AMD is getting dumped as well. AMD is getting dumped. The sound is still bad, guys. The sound's still bad. AMD is getting dumped as well. Yeah, it's like going in and out. I see it. I feel like I'm swimming underwater with you. It's still bad. Oh my God, I don't know how to fix this, dude. I don't know how to fix this right here. I don't know how to fix this. The only thing I can do is go to the. This is the camera mic, cam link. This is the camera mic right now. It might be a little bit better. Go to the. Oh, this one sucks too. This one sucks too. It's like there's nothing. I don't know how to solve this now. All right, we're going back to the better. Let's see. No, this one sucks too. This one sucks too. It's I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'll go back to the phone. Audio's fine here. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know really what to do. Better. Down about 3.6%. Is this good? Stay on phone. All right. So for anyone who says the phone kind of sucks, I'm sorry, but there's nothing. This is the best, the worst that we have. That's it. It's not the phone, bro. It sounds like the software being too sensitive. Yeah, I guess so, but that's weird because this hasn't happened all year. So I don't know why that's happening now. I have no clue why that's happening now. All right, we'll stay here. We'll stay here on the phone, and we'll keep it the best we can. GameStop right here up 5.8%. Grab just below 5. We'll see if it gets back below that $5 range. Tesla, nice recovery to 470. Tesla 1.6%, back up to 470. It was at 469. Back up to 470. Talk slower. Maybe slower talking would help. Reset the whole thing. I don't think it's going to be a reset thing. I don't think it's a reset. It seems like it's deeper than that. Robinhood down 4%. There's no hood news other than a pump yesterday, so I imagine it's just selling off right here as it's consolidating. But it's getting hit right here. Okay, you guys said I'm just gonna refresh the stream by just doing a quick refresh on the video itself. So it's gonna be black for like 30 seconds. Let me just refresh that. Maybe that helps anything. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna refresh right now. Here we go. Okay, we're back. Let's use the regular. If that fixes anything. Is that better? The regular fixes anything? Testing. No, that sucks. All right, let me just plug it. Let me unplug. All right, how does this mic work now? Is this still suck? Still on the plug. Oh, is it good? It worked for like 2 seconds. It worked for 2 seconds. No, it worked for 2 seconds, bro. Goodness gracious. I don't know, guys. I don't know. A bad one. I don't know. Maybe we have to end the stream early and we have to fucking fix it. I don't know. Tesla's running. Wow, Tesla is even with all this shit, Tesla's running somehow. Even with all this shit, Tesla's running. The phone was fine. Okay, let's go back to the phone. See if that works. Hopefully not be the best, but we're back to the phone. Just be on mute and we're gonna lip read. Amid O's the Palantir audio guy and apology. Yeah, dude, I was talking shit about the Palantir audio in the video. Oh my gosh. They came after me, bro. They fucking used their software and they were like, nuke his audio today. He's gonna learn his lesson. Goodness gracious. Well, at least Tesla's showing some green in a sea of red. Tesla's showing some green right here at 474. Tesla's there. The fact that Tesla's green is pretty incredible as well. So Tesla's green right here. GameStop at 3.44%. Apple is 0.5%. SoFi is down. Palantir's down 3%. S&P is down. S&P is recovering though. It was down 0.5%. Now it's down 30. Robin was down 4%. Now it's down 4.7. Grab was at 498. Now it's at 501. Google. Oh, look at Google above 200. Google's ripping. This is good. Okay, we'll keep the phone here. I hope the phone doesn't mess up here, but we'll keep the phone here. Google ripping at 201. QNH is continuing to get sold off. And this is why the Dow Jones, by the way, for anyone wondering why the Dow Jones is getting hit, is because United Healthcare is one of the big parts of Dow Jones, and they're down like 20% in the past week. So United Health has been really bad in terms of stock performance, and that's been hurting the Dow Jones. Nvidia recovering just a little. It was down 4%. Now it's down 2.6. So that's getting a little recovery. Tesla right here at 471, still holding at 470 range. Derek, bro, we cannot hear you. Take the day off. Goodness gracious. Oh boy, is it still really bad, guys? Do we just end the stream right here? Do we just end it? Sorry about that. There's not much more I can do here. There's like there's no mic that's working. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I have another mic. What am I doing? Hold on. Why didn't I think of this, dude? I have another fucking mic. There's a reason I have multiple mics. Hold on. We're going to fix this shit right now, bro. Hold on. How the fuck did I not realize this? All right. One second. Boom, baby. All right. If this doesn't work, then it's definitely the aliens. If this one doesn't work, it's the aliens. There's no way this one can't work. If this one doesn't work, it's the aliens. This one has to be good, right? Right? We're good, baby. We are back. Dude, why did you guys tell me to go use my other mic? I blame you guys. Honestly, like, how did you guys not be like, hey, don't you have another mic? You can use another mic. This is your guy. No, I'm just kidding. But all right, here we go. We're good. We should be back. Microphones here. Can't believe I forgot I had another mic for one of these reasons, like to have a good mic in case anything happens. Microphones here. Okay, there we go. We're good. It has to be working. It has to be working here. This should be good. All right, we're back in action. The 500 people who left because of the mic. Well, hopefully you see that the mic's good, but the mic is good. All right. Bitcoin 108,000. We are above all-time highs on Bitcoin. Yeah, right there. We hit 108. That's not bad. 108. I'm not ringing the bell. I'm not gonna ring the bell. We're not gonna ring the bell, bro. That bell messed up everything last time. It was going good until we rang the bell. This bell's in a penalty box today. The bell's gonna sit there in a corner and think about what it did. We're not ringing the bell. Bitcoin right there, 107,977, not bad. Robinhood getting hit right here, down 4.6%. Palantir down 3%. SoFi down 2.6%. Apple 252. Apple's one of the most overnight companies in the world. Apple still's up 250. Still not slowing down. Google at 202. Google's running. Grab just at that $5 range. Hims is at 32.06. Adobe 463. Broadcom going down about 4% after going up 25% over the past couple of days. Meta 627. Trump did meet with the TikTok president yesterday. And well, it looks like he's going to try to not get it banned, but I don't know how he's going to get through the Supreme Court. So it looks like that will get banned. Rocket Lab down about 2.76%. SMCI down or up 2.6% as well. Hood down, Palantir down, Tesla
currently still up 2.67. Nobody tell him it sounds still messed up. I don't want the stream to end. There's no way the stream still sounds messed up, bro. There's no way. If it's choppy, then that's StreamYard. We're not using StreamYard tonight. That's it. It has to. It's not the Wi-Fi. Trust me, it's not the Wi-Fi. It has to be StreamYard at this point. It has to be. I would imagine it's that, but hopefully the cutouts are not too horrible. How many mics do you have turned on? Only one. There's only one mic turned on. You're only allowed to have one mic turned on. Oh boy, we're gonna try to offer the This is I don't know why it's messing up today like this. It's Bell. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you for the day off, dude. This is hilarious. You guys are wild. You guys are wild. It's Bell. Thank you for the $20 Unfortunately, it still does chop out. I don't think it's your mic. Yeah, it's probably not the mic. It has to be the software. Is there no StreamYard? No, there is, but you know, usually I use StreamYard. All right, so I mean, we'll end it early in like 20 minutes, and we'll get out of here. But and I'll try to fix this. But we do have Tesla running up 3%. Tesla 477, not bad, and Bitcoin right here at 108,000. That's also Bitcoin right there. That's a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So where's MSTR as Bitcoin at all-time highs? That's down 1.5%. MSTX is down 3%. Coinbase is up a little bit. CleanSpark is down. Marathon 8%. So all the Bitcoin proxy is not really getting that much momentum from Bitcoin. But Bitcoin all-time highs is definitely bullish. Tesla is trying to go to 480. Tesla's trying to go to 480, 478. Tesla. Oh yeah, I hear what you guys are saying right now with the I hear what you guys are saying now with the cutout. You're right. It definitely is cutting up. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. But again, I don't know if that's gonna be the best idea, guys. I think we'll just try to use a different software. I'll try to speak closer into the mic. Hopefully that helps a little bit. 478 on Tesla up 3.3%. Let me check resistance for 480 and see how bad it is to get. Yeah, Robinhood got a hit today. Grab got hit today. A lot of these stocks, kind of the whole market, taking it on the chin right now. But Tesla and Bitcoin, Tesla and Bitcoin holding up. So Tesla at 480. We're looking at 36,000 shares. That's not a lot. It's actually very low, 480. It looks like that can happen. Just Ball, thank you for becoming a channel member. Walt, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thanks for not giving up. Thanks for being here, Walt. We're trying to not give up. Not going to make it easy. Do you have a video in the background? No, there's no videos in the background. Jeremy says, must be YouTube. Another show I listened to live yesterday had the same issue. It's got to be YouTube, StreamYard, or it's got to be. It's one of them. It's got to be one of them. It's got to be one of them at this point. But let's see what else we can keep going. So Tesla right here, 479. All right, we are $1 away from 480, folks. In the midst of all this red that you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen, Tesla somehow is finding a way to go higher along with Bitcoin. And it does look like 480 is on the table. We are 36,000 away, 36,000 shares away from Tesla getting to 480. 6,000 shares away from Tesla getting to that 480 level. By the way, I just increased the mic volume as well on StreamYard. Maybe that helps. I don't know if that's going to stop it cutting in and out, but I increased the volume. QBT got a NASA contract. Oh, there you go. Tesla 480. Not going to ring the bell, but Tesla 480. There you go. Tesla 481. Never mind. Goodness gracious. What the heck is going on? This thing doesn't care. This thing does not care. Goodness, audio sucks too. It's just so bad. It's bad, but I think we're about to hit 482. There you go, 40. Dude, this is like, this is kind of wild. This is not stopping. Ring the bell, it will fix the audio. Oh my god, bro. Holy crap. 481.
Imagine the Figure IPO. Yeah, man. If Tesla's getting this much momentum from freaking robo-taxis and maybe a little bit of Optimus, I think Figure is going to be very exciting when they try to IPO as well. Tesla 481 right now. Absolutely incredible for Tesla. And we know that Derek, friend of the channel, went heavy in Tesla back in the high 200s, low 300s. Chris Camillo in Dumb Money went heavy into Tesla as well. He's on a massive Tesla trade. You do have a ton of people that have, loaded the boat on Tesla. And if the Optimus logic with some of these analysts, why Tesla's going higher, you could only imagine that some of these humanoid robotics, what their valuation looks like. I mean, think about this, guys. If Optimus got a $470 billion valuation on Tesla, which is what Mizuho said. Figure is worth $2 billion right now as a humanoid robotics startup. I mean, does that go to $500 billion? Right? Like the IPO, like these are real questions to think about when it comes to humanoid robotics and that TAM. And if Tesla's going to get a couple trillion up in the next coming years, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? So I think that already is a tailwind for Tesla. Tesla's been speaking a lot about Optimus, and then you got FSD Robotics and energy that continues to compound. 481.57 on Tesla, up another 4%. That means now Tesla year to date is up 100%. Tesla year to date is up 93.55%. 93.55% Tesla. It's not bad. Not bad on Tesla. Not bad at all. 481. Bitcoin as well. 108. Bitcoin and Tesla both outperforming the rest of the market. Everything else is getting hit. Palantir's down. SoFi is down 1670. They're recovering a little bit. Grab recovering a little bit. HIMS is up a little bit. Broadcom's down 5%. Pretty much everything else is getting hit. NVIDIA and SMCI up a little bit. Rocket Lab had a successful rocket launch, if I'm not wrong, right? Rocket Lab's down 3%. Successful rocket. Robin down about 4%. Tesla and Bitcoin, the ones that are benefiting from this currently going down. Why is Hood down? I think it's people taking profit. It could be an insider selling as well, because 5% down when Bitcoin's up could just be like a lot of insider selling, or it could be profits where you're up to run before the JPOW meeting. I think a lot of this is before JPOW gets to office, or not before JPOW gets to office, before JPOW speaks tomorrow. That could be the reason why we're seeing people feel currently right now. I feel like that's the broader reason. And you would sell off something like Robin if you're afraid about JPOW. Market might be also fussing over core retail sales coming in lower than expected, 0.2 versus 0.4. That's a good point, Dave. The market could be mad that retail sales were so high because that's bad for inflation, or they could be upset that core retail sales came in lower and that's bad for the economy. There's two areas of narrative that the market could be dealing with as well. 483 on Tesla. 480 freaking 3 on Tesla. You got 483 on Tesla. Pretty incredible. On Tesla. Pretty incredible. Oh, how about this? Hold on. For the mic thing, how about this? What if I do this? Hold on. We're gonna try something new here. If this one works, then it's what if I go on my other computer and I'm gonna join with the microphone on my other computer? Let's see if this works. All right. So give me 10 seconds. Let's see if this works. Okay, so this is a different angle. You guys see my room is a mess in the background. Let's see the microphone. Audio. Okay, how's the mic here? How's the mic? Does the mic suck here? Does the mic suck? Is way better? Way better? Mic suck? Oh, wait, the audio has to be way better, right? Better? Very good. All right, now as you can see, I didn't apply the bricks to that part of the room because I'm still working on it because it takes hard work to put the bricks up there. So as you guys can see, there's a bifurcation of bricks and no bricks. But is this better? Is this horrible? I feel like the audio should be a little bit better here. Should be a little bit better. Tell me the audio doesn't suck here. Or is it cutting? Or is it still cutting out? Is it still, let me see. Tell me the audio doesn't suck here. Or is it cutting?
No, it's way better, dude. It's way better. For anyone who say it's cutting, it might be cutting slightly, but it's way better. Way better. It has to be better than the last one. It has to be better. All right, here we go. So we're back. We are officially back. We got switched to a different mic, or switched to a different computer, and we're gonna use it from here. It has to be better, bro. There's no way. I mean, I know this audio is not perfect, but it can't be as bad as the last one. So this has to be massive improvement. Okay, massive improvement. We're at least at now cutting it way better. All right, now we can actually be happy about Tesla because now I can actually focus on it. Okay, cool. So Tesla 478 right here. We just hit all-time highs at 483.99. So we're almost at 484. Tesla's now up 90% year to date, 479 right here, up 3.4%. Again, I think the market is getting very excited about the fact that they think it's basically inevitable that Tesla's going to. And I mean, I think there's a lot of money that's chasing. Now, again, here's the question. Let me ask the question for the chat. Okay. Who's buying Tesla at 480? Who's buying Tesla at 480? Bitcoin at 108,000. That is also correct. Bitcoin here is at 108,000. Let me actually move my screen to people on the computer. Let me pull it up so I can control it from here. There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. We're back. There we go. Bitcoin 108,000. Who's buying Tesla at 480? That's the question. Who's buying Tesla at $480? Because if none of you guys are buying, this begs the question, who the hell is buying? And I still don't have an answer to this question. It's either the toots or it's new retail. And I kind of think it's a little bit of new retail, to be honest, more than the toots. I think there's a lot of chasing going on for Tesla, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's either. Palantir's down 4%, Apple's down a little bit, or sorry, Apple's up 252, Tesla 476, Bitcoin 107,000, just below 108, now back at 108. Let's check the crypto proxies real quick. How are they doing? All of them are pretty much green. Cypher's down, Bitfarm's down, Robinhood's down, but Marathon and the Bitcoin miners are up. CleanSpark's up a little bit. Coinbase is down a little bit, but Bitcoin, new all-time high is 108. BitX is doing great. This thing's up 4.34%. And then IBIT is doing great. BitX and IBIT have been the best Bitcoin proxies over the past couple months, to be honest. The other ones, the miners, have not been the best. This is options. Chris CRM says, yeah, I think this is also a lot of people buying up those calls. That's probably creating some buying pressure. Lang focuses noobs are chasing the Trump trade. I don't want to say people are noobs chasing Tesla at this level, but I definitely think initiating a position here is aggressive. And if Tesla goes to 600, then it probably the smartest thing to do. But getting in at 478, 480 after this type of run. Now, granted, as I say, it's a bit aggressive. Why should Tesla go back to 300? I can't think of a good reason why Tesla should go back to 300. I can't think of a reason why Tesla should lose any of its premium, especially if it's the best performing AI stock for 2025 in terms of real world AI. So I could kind of see that's why I don't think people are necessarily noobs chasing it. I would sell puts though instead. I mean, I wouldn't flat out buy Tesla. I would sell some puts at even 450 and just scale the position that way. But whoever's buying into it, they're buying into it. They're definitely buying in and they're not stopping. Bruce says he has 14,187 shares, up 2,000%. That's incredible. Congratulations to you, Bruce. That's a hell of a victory. 14,000 shares is not something to scoff at. So that's incredible. Hood below 41. Do we have to buy some Hood today? Do we have to buy some Hood? 4107. I think we got to buy some Hood, folks. I think I'm going to have to buy some Hood right here. No rational reason with Bitcoin being up here. Hood should be down. All right, so let's see. Let's see if it goes below 41. Let's do this. We'll put in an order. We'll put it in a limit order for 25 shares at $40.75. Limit order, $40.75. If it gets there, it gets there. If it doesn't, okay. There we go. We're going to do a limit order. And we'll swipe up. And let's see. Let's see. So if we get to 40.75, we'll get filled. If it stays in this 41 range, maybe we'll buy it outright later. But let's see. If it keeps falling, we'll at least benefit from some of the action to the downside. People selling NVIDIA, Palantir to buy Tesla. I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Bitcoin just below 108. Is Nvidia still getting hit? Where's Nvidia? Nvidia, yeah, 127. Nvidia getting hit. Not holding up yet. It loves getting filled. Oh my gosh. Is it worth adding a hood to retirement account looking 5 to 10 years out? Yeah, dude, my sister's retirement. Dude, I bought my sister 900 shares in her Roth of hood at $17. She is up right now. Let me see. She is up. I mean, her retirement is just Robinhood. She is up 21,000 bucks, up 135%. So 1743 was her average. I like hood at these levels. If you want to sell puts on it in your retirement, I think it makes more sense to scale into it. But for a retirement play, I want her to hold these shares for like the next 20 years. Like if Robinhood is the next Schwab, $17 should be an average that should one day, she should be looking at hopefully $150 to $200 in the next 10 to 15 years. So yeah, I like it in retirement. I've got some hood in my retirement as well. I don't think that's horrible. Her retirement is only hood, yeah, but remember she started her Roth IRA like this year, so literally she just YOLO'd whatever 10,000 she had in the Roth IRA. So she hasn't been. She has a 401k in her job and all that actual Roth IRA. That's just we just put it into hood at 17. So that one has been doing okay. Love that you're taking care of your sister, dude. I manage everything for my sister, bro. I manage everything. Like the cool thing about managing my sister's portfolio is that she doesn't ask any questions because she doesn't care. Sometimes I want her to ask questions. I'm like, so you saw what I did today? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, curious how I did. She's like, no, not really. And I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. So I kind of get to do whatever I want and experiment with her portfolio, even though I'm being very conservative with it. It's my sister. So it gives me more experience with managing money, but also she just doesn't care. She just wants to see it go. And the day it goes down, though, if she loses like 3% a day, she's like, so why am I down? And I'm like, you never care about why you're up, but now you care when you're down. So it's always funny because we just go back and forth with that. But yeah, I pretty much manage all of her stuff. And quite frankly, I kind of had to because if I didn't do it, she was not. I mean, you guys have that person in your family that just doesn't care about money, doesn't care about finances. That's my sister. I love my sister, but she does not care less about her finances, bro. She does not care. So finally in June, I was like, please give me access to all of your shit. Let me manage it. And we got her stuff together. So that's what we're doing for her. Pounds right here, 73.38. Grabs at 508. All right, I'm buying some grab. I'm buying this sucker. And grab is an absolute steal at these levels. Grab, let's see. We're gonna buy 250 shares of grab. All right, 250 shares of grab. It's been bought. There you go. We now have 5,705 shares of grab. So the position, we want to get it to 10,000. We're kind of more than halfway there. Average cost is 525, so the average cost is up there from where it is right now. But if it dips below $5 into that football range, we will continue to build out that position. So we grabbed some of that grab. 477 right here on Tesla. Rumble right here is down a little bit. Palantir down 3.25%. Microsoft down a little bit. Bitcoin still holding 107. It's not bad. Tesla holding 470s as well. It hit 483, now back to 478. Robinhood recovering a little bit, and Nvidia still down 2.8%. Loop for a while just bought 500 hood at 4107. I don't hate that. Either. I'm buying just grab shares. I don't hate the options, the $10 leaps for 2027, but currently I'm just buying. Why didn't you ever go to a football game at Rutgers? That's a good question. Honestly, I just don't care about football. Like, I just I mean, I don't know. I guess me and my friends never thought of, let's go. I went to a basketball game at Rutgers. I never went to football games. That's why the Army-Navy game was my first football game ever. But yeah, never went to. But I went to the basketball games, and the basketball team was better. So, actually, the first game I went to, we hit a game-winning. Really cool. So, and also I like basketball more than football, so it was more fun. MicroStrategy is getting hit right here, down 1.2%. Rocket Lab down 2.39%. Marathon's up 2.6. HIMS is up 1.6. The entire market's kind of getting faded from what we're seeing right here. S&P 500 is at 603. That's down 0.5%. You got the QQQ as well, down 0.5%. So the only two things that are really up today are Tesla and Bitcoin, which is kind of wild to see. Only Tesla and Bitcoin. Meta got faded as well. Correct. Meta got faded as well. Why do you like Grab? I don't want to go through the whole thesis. I'll link what I wrote on Twitter, but they are growing into so many verticals. I was actually talking with Chris on the phone last night, and we were kind of even going deeper into the thesis. It's just really good management. Really good management that knows what they're doing. I like to buy companies when they're on the verge of profitability. Grab already got profitable. If I got them right before they got profitable, I would have gotten it at like 350. So I was a little late. But they're profitable. They're probably going to maintain profitability. They're buying back a crap ton of their shares. Margins are going up. They're outside the U.S., so they're not as expensive in the U.S. But here's the biggest thesis for anyone who's curious: $6 billion of the $20 billion in market cap is cash, which means you're basically paying $14 billion for the company, and that cash is going to increase next quarter along with their market. So to me, I'm paying $14 billion for a company doing $2.8 billion in revenue, growing at 17%, buying back their shares, and that is now profitable. That's not in the United States, so I have some international exposure, and it's not as expensive as the United States. By the way, Tesla back to 481. And it seems pretty. I mean, it seems there's a good story there with a management that I've listened to multiple interviews at this point of the CTO, CFO, CEO, etc. They know what they're doing. You can trust these guys. At least that's how I feel. I feel like they're not just here to take care of them. Like you can actually trust them. So yeah, that's why I love them. And that's why I think there's a thesis there. Where do they expand the market? All of Southeast Asia. They have 800 cities they're expanding into. So 8 countries. So there's plenty of room for them to go. And they have 42 million monthly active users. No one's competing with them. No one has that many users using their stuff. So I think Grab at this point is just in the right trajectory for their network effects to start to scale. Basically, they're doing the Uber playbook. When Uber got profitable, everything changed. Uber was a hated stock until they got profitable. Grab has been a hated stock the past 2 years after they de-SPACed, but now they're profitable. And what the thesis is relying on is that they continue profitability. If they can continue, and even at margins going up, if they can continue that, the analysts are going to come out the woodworks upgrading this thing to $10. They already upgraded it to 7 and 8. The upgrades are going to keep coming. It's just going to be a matter of time as long as they continue the momentum. So that's what we got to see for Grab. Did you cover the Waymo in Japan news? Yes, that is super bullish for Google. And for anyone in Google, congratulations. Take a look at this bad boy. 200. Well, it was at 200. Now it's at 199. But it was at 201 today. Not bad for the Googs. Tesla at 476. It just hit 480, so it just dumped right below 480 at 476. Broadcom getting hit as well. Broadcom 234, down about 6% on the day. Makes sense. Broadcom was up 35% in the past 2 days. Bitcoin as well, 108 to 107. Look at that candle right there. You got a candle going down. You got the whole market, I think, confused about what's going to happen tomorrow with JPEG. I think that's what's going to happen. The fear. I think that's the fear. It's got to be about JPOW right here. It's got to be about JPOW. I mean, I don't know why else the market would be this scared. I feel like it's fears on if we're going to get a rate cut or not. Now we're going to get a rate cut. There's no, here's the thing. This goes back to this, like, we're going to get a hawkish rate cut. Because if we get a hawkish rate cut, that's when I think the market can get a little bit more scared. Well, that's what we have to pay attention to. Okay, let's get an update from CNBC and get some coverage here, see what's going on, and then we'll keep going from there in terms of what we're looking at.
Good news. October sales, 0.5% increase than the previously reported 0.4% increase. A lot of it was in autos and auto parts. And remember, these numbers aren't adjusted for inflation, so price increases in that area could also have an impact. Here's the monthly gainers, what looked really good this month in terms of where the spending was. And there's motor vehicle parts with an unusual 2.6% monthly increase. But online, really good sign for Cyber Monday and Black Friday and holiday spending. Sporting, hobby instruments, and books was also a good one. Building materials and garden supplies, not surprising because that was a rebound effect from the hurricane. As far as where the sales were a little bit weaker on the month, a few interesting stories here. So miscellaneous store retailers down. Department stores in particular were weak in that sector. Food services. So this is the only services part of the entire retail sales report. It's mostly goods. And so we pay attention to it. It was weaker on the month. Clothing, not such a hot spot. And grocery stores also a little bit lower. It should bode well for the kind of growth that we are experiencing this quarter, in the fourth quarter. And I'll just end with, it's unusual, David. We're going into Fed meeting. We're in day one. We'll get the announcement tomorrow. To have the consumer in such strong shape and the economy in such strong shape for the Fed to be cutting interest rates.
She's right. I mean, look, that's another thing the market's probably struggling with. If the consumer is this strong and retail sales have this big of a beat, can Jay Powell really say, yeah, we definitely need to cut rates because there's a problem? Now, again, the labor market with unemployment going up is what he's going to use to justify the cut. The odds just went from 97 to 95%. So the market's still thinking we're going to get a cut tomorrow, but it is definitely a bit harder to justify.
Right. Which means they won't be doing it for long.
That's the market takeaway on all the strong data and firmer inflation data, which is that, okay, they'll cut because they promised and they said they had to, so they kind of have to follow through with that. And also the market's pushing them that direction. But after that, they'll do less. So expect the dots to reflect fewer rate cuts for 2025, though we really just don't know. Right? Because what if the Fed does go on hold, then the next thing is, well, are they going to hike? Are they going to cut?
Right. And then we talked about, of course, the incoming administration and what the impact of tariffs will be, if in fact they are fairly broad and or deep, not to mention deportations. Once again, just questions we will not know the answers to for some time, potentially.
The other thing we don't know the answer to is how sticky this inflation is right now, even without those policies, because there's been a lack of progress on the disinflation front past the big progress that we got over the last year and a half or so, from the 9% inflation down to the 3% inflation. We're sort of stuck around these levels.
And so what does that mean? And why do we think that's the case? And is it fair to assume that perhaps there's a new...
I got filled on my order, folks. 25 shares, $40.75 on Hood. I got filled, old 25. So we picked up 25 more shares. Now Hood's at 40.79, so we'll see if it can hold above 40.75, but I just got filled.
Normal?
Maybe, and that could suggest that the neutral rate, or the rate where the Fed doesn't expand or contract the economy, should be higher. And that's one question for them. If I had a question at the news conference, like, does the recent strong economic data, in light of your very, high interest rates and aggressive monetary policy, convince you that rates should be ultimately higher? The other reason why, David, is just it's been a strong economy. So the biggest pressure on inflation would be if consumer spending weakened. We're not seeing it. Another chart for you, a lot of anecdotal data and what companies are saying to pay attention to on this front. Morgan Stanley did their annual Global Consumer Retail Conference in early December, and they tracked up among the transcripts the most common words. Consumer strength was really good. Almost 50% of companies say they expect demand to accelerate in the new year. And this was among the most frequently mentioned words, consumer strength, along with, Carl, efficiency and margins, which also gives you a sense of the priorities of companies and investors right now. But they talked more about consumer strength than they did about tariffs. They talked more about consumer strength than they did about AI, which I thought was...
And that's why I think the market's struggling right now, because if consumer strength is the biggest concern that they have, and consumers are kind of healthy in November, as per what we saw with retail sales data, then Jay Powell's got a decision to make tomorrow around rate cuts. We just got a new announcement, folks. Databricks just got valued at $62 billion. $62 billion. They just raised $10 billion. Palantir, by the way, is down 5.2%. Robinhood's at 40.65. Tesla's at 4.71. Tesla's tanking. And then Bitcoin is tanking as well now at 106. So the entire market is getting hit right here. But Databricks, $10 billion bucks. The company expects positive free cash flow revenue with a $3 billion revenue run rate by January. I would imagine if Databricks just got valued at $62 billion, they're going to try to IPO at $80 to $90 billion. And that is going to be kind of their exit strategy for VCs into 2025, if M&A truly does come back with mergers and acquisitions, IPOs, all that stuff. So you got Databricks raising more money. They're probably taking advantage of things like Palantir that have pretty high valuations, Databricks being a competitor to them. So that makes sense for why they're going after it. But the broader markets right here definitely taking a bit of a hit as we are seeing some weakness. I mean, take a look at this. Bitcoin 106,592, Nvidia 126. Nvidia now down almost 4%. HUD looks like it might go below 40 the way it's acting right here. I mean, I'll buy that dip at 39 if it gets there, but HUD's down a nice 6%. And I don't think that's just HUD specific. I think the entire market's getting hit. So HUD's just getting hit a lot because it was up a lot yesterday. SoFi as well. Nasty 3% down line. MicroStrategy down 4%, even though Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Rocket Lab up down 5%. Everything. There's like not much that's green. Marathon's barely green. HIMS is barely green. Reddit's down 5%. It's a little bit of a bloodbath on a Tuesday. Google's holding on by a thread. Tesla is
barely holding on. It's at 469. It was just at 485. Whoever bought at 485 is probably a little upset right now, but that's down. That's down. What price to sales does that put them at? 20 for Databricks. Yeah. Basically, yeah, 20. That would put them at a 20 times price to sales. Which, I mean, look, that's expensive. I can't say anything with Palantir trading at 80 times price to sales or whatever, but it's definitely them taking advantage of the environment of companies willing to pay a premium. New Palantir and partners with TRM Labs blockchain intelligence platform for FedRAMP high authorization. All right, so we got Palantir with a new partner today. I didn't see that news. I'm assuming they just put it out, but it looks like they have a new partner for FedRAMP. This might be part of FedStart as well. TRM Labs. I feel like I've heard of this company, blockchain intelligence platform. I've heard of them before. It looks like they're working with Palantir right now in regards to government applications of blockchains. We're getting a lot of partnership with Palantir when it comes to these little FedStart companies and these smaller companies that want to get into the government. And the more and more we get of those, the more and more Palantir should get continued government revenue, or at least take parts of other companies that are getting government revenue. 1030 slam. This feels worse than a 1030 slam, bro. This feels like the market legitimately selling off everything because they're afraid of either the retail sales data we got, which makes inflation stickier. Either they're afraid of JPOW tomorrow. Maybe they're afraid of some of the stuff Trump said yesterday about tariffs. I mean, I don't know what they're afraid of, but look at the S&P and the Qs. They're down almost 1%. I mean, they're creeping up there to being down 1% today. Now, granted, it's hard to complain because the markets have been up very nicely over the past 2 months. So if I was at $7, it's at $16.34, even if it's not at 17. Can you really complain? Probably not. Robinhood was at $25 a month ago. Now it's at $40. Can you really complain? Not really. So I guess we got to put it into perspective, but we are still seeing the red. We are still seeing the red here today. Definitely JPOW. Yeah, I definitely think it's JPOW. Amid with recent action in bond yields, even though we will get 25 basis cut, isn't the market now telling us the Fed will likely signal a pause early in 2025? You are exactly correct. The market is thinking that it is going to be a hawkish cut, and we're going to get a cut. But JPOW is basically going to say, hey, we're giving you this cut, but don't expect more early in 2025 because inflation is sticky, and we're going to take our time in 2025. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, why would you cut in the first place? This is why people don't like the Fed. Because logically, you shouldn't cut at that point. If you're going to be hawkish about 2025, why would you cut right now? Like, just get it over with. Just pause, wait, and then cut later. But this is where JPOW also knows that he's a steward of the market, and the market's expecting a cut. And he can't surprise the market that aggressively because that would not be good for the market. That would also not be good for unemployment. That would not be good for the labor market. Now, remember, December 2018, Christmas Eve was not fun. The Fed hiked again, and the stock market was down about 15%, ending into December. Then November, they did 3 cuts, and then that helped. That's when Trump really started hating JPOW because he just kept cutting rates, kept hiking rates. I don't think we're going to get a crappy December, dude. I mean, it's been a hell of a year. I don't think 13 days, they take away a chunk of gains. I mean, you might see a little bit of a decline, 1 or 2%, but I don't think we're going back to like 580 on the S&P. If we get an end of year like plunge, which again, I don't think is going to happen, but if we do, that would be wild because 2024 is on pace to be one of the best years ever. And again, history is against the side of that happening. December tends to be one of the best months historically. And really after Christmas, you tend to see that momentum. So I think December is going to be fine. And I think this is a lot of just fear right now before the meeting. But it definitely is people being a little afraid of what'll happen tomorrow. Powell wants to appease Trump short term and he'll cut. Yeah, it's just I don't think Powell cares about what Trump's going to think in 2025 if he wants to keep inflation down, and that requires a pause. That might be a reason that Trump and Powell don't get along in 2025. We're going to see. Inflation is sticky. There's no denying that. Inflation is sticky. The question's just, how sticky is it and how much is that going to hurt the broader market from navigating all of this? What else do we have? I just clicked over to meet Kevin live, and he's rattling off about a Trumponomics course. He's selling a course about Trump? What? What? He's selling a course about Trump? Trumponomics? The fuck is Trumponomics? What? Okay. That is interesting, I guess. What does Trumponomics teach you? Did anyone buy that course? What does it teach you? Does it teach you how to talk like Trump or something? Like what? Trumponomics? This has got to be a joke, right? This has got to be. He's selling a Trumponomics course. How much is the course? Hold on, I'm about to search this shit up right now. Trumponomics course. How much does this shit cost, bro? Trumponomics? Does it get to teach you the art of the deal or something? Like what? This is buy now. How much does this shit cost, bro? Trumponomics course. Make millions with Trump. Okay. Well, I guess $400. Well, it's $800, but there's a coupon code, so you get $400. Wow, I didn't even have to apply a coupon code. The coupon code was applied for me. Wow, that definitely shows me the value of this course. The fact that they took off half of the value of it automatically without me even having to type in a coupon course. All right. Well, if anyone wants to engage in the Trumponomics, I guess $400 is all it takes to learn about how to navigate the economy under Donald Trump. That is, how do you even make a course like that without him being president? Like, you don't even know if his policies are going to be the policies he campaigned on. Like, we have no, like, that's weird. That's kind of weird. Anyway, all right. Apple right here, 252. Pfizer 2641, SMCI is up 3.4%. Grab is up a little bit. It's still down on the day. Palantir down 4.2%. Nvidia still getting smacked, dude, down 3.4%. Robin at a little bit of a recovery, but Tesla's the only one holding on at 473. Tesla's the only one holding on at 473. ChatGPT made the course. I mean, dude, I just don't get it. I don't know how you teach people about navigating Trump and he's not even president yet. I don't know. That's weird. All right, what else do we have going on, folks, outside of my mic messing up? Thank you all for being here today. For the people that are still here, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm going to make sure before market close, we fix up everything, and I'm going to test it like multiple times so that there's no issue. And the bell will be out of penalty, so hopefully the bell's okay. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys for still staying with the stream, and we'll try to get better. 2025, by the way, I was looking into another mic. It's a Rode mic. It's a little bit more expensive than the $400 mic I have, but I think I'm getting that one because I've seen people compare it on YouTube, and it's just like way better. I'm going to get a compressor with it, so hopefully we don't have any issues in 2025 for this stuff. Why is SolarEdge up 17%? That is a good question. I have no clue. SolarEdge, wow, 17% for a solar name. That is a bit aggressive right here. Let's see if there's any news on this one. Let's see for SolarEdge what's going on. Scott, thank you for the 10 super chat. It's a good course, very good course, one of the best courses we've had. It's an unbelievable course. People said to me, we won't believe how good this course is. That's hilarious. That's how he should start off the course. That's how he should start it off. That would be hilarious if that's the opening to the course. I don't get it, bro. Trumponomics, that is wild. Okay, SolarEdge is upgraded to a buy from a sell at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs says, hey, we think SolarEdge is bottoming, and we think the concerns about the solar market is overblown, and we think they're going to be a winner in 2025 as they lower their costs, increasing their margins. That's why SolarEdge is up right now. That's why SolarEdge is up right now. Well, Enphase should get a little bit of that love too, right? Enphase gave up some of their gains. They were at 74, now they're at 72, but SolarEdge still holding on to that momentum. But if the upgrades are coming for SolarEdge, I would imagine the upgrades also will be coming for Enphase eventually as well. Someone said, Amit, why is the market tanking? I just joined. I don't have a reason for you other than Jay Powell speaking tomorrow, and it looks like the market is definitely a little afraid that he's going to be very hawkish, even if he's going to cut. And remember, the dot plot will come out tomorrow. That dot plot is going to be how many cuts he thinks is going to happen in 2025. Or how many cuts the Fed thinks is going to happen. And if the dot plot ends up showing 3 cuts and the market's expecting 5 cuts, Yeah, that could be not the best. That could be a little bad for the market. Bitcoin right here, 106. Bitcoin holding on right here. Even though it was down from 108, still holding above 106, which is good. But still currently down. Amit, did you buy any Grab? Yes, we bought 250 shares of Grab this morning at like 507. Can Elon sell Trump on energy? I don't think so, bro. I think Elon has a certain amount of cards he can play with Trump. And I think his biggest card is getting rid of self-driving FSD autonomous regulations. Tesla right here, 476. And I think that's the card he's going to go for. I don't think Elon's going to care about anything else other than making sure he gets that. Because he can't convince Trump about everything. And Trump doesn't care about solar, so I don't think Elon's going to try. But I think Elon's going to get regulations for autonomous vehicles to go away, which will let him launch unsupervised FSD. And then we should see some excitement there for Tesla. Are you buying good at these levels? Yes, I bought at 40.75. My next buy will be below 40 if it gets there, but I already bought today at 40.75. So we did buy the dippy dip. We bought the dippy dip. I don't think he's aiming to have self-driving regulations go away. Yeah, not go away, but to just loosen up, right? To make sure that when Tesla's ready to launch, they're not held up by any level of bureaucracy in getting those there. What do you think about Grab Leaps? I don't hate Grab Leaps either. What I really like, guys, is the $5, $10 Grab spread more than the Leap. So you buy the $5, you spend the $10. Right now, how much is it going for? It should be a clean 5x on this. So if you buy the 5, you sell the 10, 2027. It is going for 85 cents. Yeah, that's actually, honestly, I'm buying 5 of these right now. Can I get filled to 85? So this is a more than 5x. This is what, 5 divided by 85. This is a 588% return if Grab can get to $10 by 2027. So instead of, a double on the shares from 5 to 10, you get almost a 6x if it gets there. The 5.5 $10 call, how much is that one trading for? That one, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, so the 5-10 spread, that's not the worst one. 5-10 spread. I'll probably buy some of those later. That one is not a bad spread on this as well. QUBT is up 36%. That one is getting the quantum love. I think they got a contract today as well. One of you guys mentioned. That's what's helping them. Goodness gracious, dude, up 35%. This stock year to date, QUBT stock year to date, 1,538%. It's a call debit spread. Yeah, it's a call debit spread. Can you explain spreads? Okay, so first of all, if you don't know what a spread is, don't get into it, right? You take your time to learn it. But a call debit spread is not that complicated. You're basically buying a call and selling a call on top of each other. So you're going long one call, short the other call, and the premium you're getting from selling the call, which is what happens when you sell a call, is offsetting the premium you're paying from buying the call. Now, to sell a covered call, you need to have 100 shares. But in this case, you're not using 100 shares. You're using the Leap, the long call, the $5 call in this case, to cover the $10 call. So that creates a spread, and that creates a fixed return that you can get from that spread, which is the width of the spread. In this case, 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 times 100 is 500. 500 divided by how much you're paying, $85, is a 588% return. So that's kind of the logic of a spread. If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. We'll talk about more in depth later. You can go on ChatGPT. You can learn more about it. I wouldn't do a call debit spread if you don't understand what it is. But to me, it's a little bit more safer than doing the Leaps, although it does max out your upside. Because if Grab goes to $20, then you're not getting any more value than what the spread is worth at $10. So that is the only downside to doing it. But it protects you against the volatility of Grab going to $3, right? Because then you have that $10 call that saves you a bit if it goes down. Bitcoin 105. Now Bitcoin tanking below 106. So Bitcoin getting hit along with everything else. Is GameStop still up? GameStop somehow is up freaking 6% today, which is insane. But GameStop's up right here while everything's down. Is Hood below 40 yet? Robinhood 40.69, a little recovery. Google 196, Google below 200. Palantir still holding the 70s, folks. The strength on Palantir is not bad. I mean, Palantir's at freaking 72. That is not bad at all. 72, 71, down about 4%. Broadcom down 6%. You would think Palantir would be down below 70 on a day like this, but Palantir's holding up, and Tesla still holding at 475. Tesla is not getting as destroyed as I think some people thought it could get destroyed, given how bad the market. Too bad. Currently, right now. Oh, the NASA contract. Yeah, QUBTS, the NASA contract. That's what's also helping as well. Intel. Where is Intel? We haven't looked at Intel in a bit. Where is Intel? INTC. Intel is at $20. Intel's just been a mess over the past couple of days, but Intel's still down, really not getting any momentum from the CEO change because I guess people are not thinking that Pat Gelsinger is going to be necessarily bullish, or leaving is not necessarily bullish. But you got Intel that is down. We did have Kramer talk about Tesla yesterday. Let me pull that up. And Kramer sounded kind of bullish, but still, Tesla holding on. So, I mean, Tesla is just not caring about anything. Here's what Kramer said yesterday about Tesla.
This rally since the election is one for the ages. It's a movement in retrospect everyone should have seen coming, right? I mean, why not? Elon Musk has been all in with the winner of the presidential election. The electric cars are doing much better than everyone else's. Full self-driving could be around the corner. But now let's look at what might have kept you out of the stock. If you go back in time to when we found out that Elon was a big-time Trump supporter, the media was filled with "how long will that last" chatter. The president-elect is famously mercurial, while Elon Musk is obviously brilliant but equally arbitrary and capricious. The idea that these two could bond in any way before they clash seemed inevitable. Plus,
okay, I can't handle all these noises, bro. Why are there all these noises? Oh my gosh. Isn't his audience older? Like, do they really want to hear all these freaking noise? I don't watch his show, so I don't know how many noises that he does. But the point is he's bullish. He's bullish Tesla. And even with him being bullish Tesla doesn't care. It continues to gain some momentum. Let's listen to Dan Ives, who, although he talks a lot about the party at 10 a.m., at least there's not 17 different buttons he's pressing to make noises. Here we go. Here's Dan Ives on Bloomberg this morning.
Dan Ives of Wedbush raising his Tesla price target to 515, writing, "We believe the Trump White House over the next 4 years will be a total game changer for the autonomous and AI story for Tesla and Musk over the coming years." Dan joins us now with quite a punchy price target. Dan, good morning. It's good to see you.
Great to be here.
Vijay Rakesh of Mizuho doing something similar this morning. He makes a different point, though, and I'd love your thoughts on this. He says the new administration's policies repealing the consumer EV tax credit positions Tesla better than lower EV cost structure relative to peers. How important is that piece of the puzzle?
Well, I think that's important because, again, negative for the EV industry, positive for Tesla in terms of the scale and scope. But if you look as they sort of do the sweep the leg on the EV tax credits, that's just going to give Tesla more and more of an advantage. But let's just be clear, that's the appetizer. I mean, the main event here, what we are focused on, the gold at the end of the rainbow, it's autonomous, the AI future. And I think that's where the light bulbs went off, because if you look at the Trump-Musk bromance, and as this all plays out, this is really going to be, I think, it's a poker move that I think will really be the bet for the ages when you look at a Musk bet on Trump.
The vibes are good, and it's hard to fight against them. I just got a message from a Bloomberg subscriber. I won't mention their name. I believe you know the individual, and we can talk about that in the commercial break. And this is what they say. Tesla has increased since the election by something like 700 billion in market cap, now 1.5 trillion. The business is not growing and hasn't in 2 years. Despite the hopes of full self-driving, it still doesn't work. So less regulation doesn't help it work. It's up another GM in market cap this morning, or better, the market cap of Waymo, which actually has working robo-taxis. My prediction for 25 is Tesla will lose over $1 trillion in market cap. What would you say back to that individual?
I'd say if that person was an NFL scout, they're probably negative on Tom Brady, come out of the 2000 draft, come out of Michigan. I mean, the point is look, despite all the Super Bowls, look, if you look, the Bears, they can't see AI in the spreadsheets. So when they're sitting there in hibernation mode, they don't understand this move. Autonomous is worth $1 trillion valuation to the Tesla story. And I believe now, as this all plays out, it's really just the start. I continue to view this as probably the best pure AI play out there.
I mean, this is what Dan Ives thinks. He thinks if you are not seeing Tesla, you are missing potentially Tom Brady, which turned out to be the underdog in the draft. But I think, what was his pick? He was like drafted 60th overall or like 100th overall. He was like one of the last picks. And then Tom Brady ended up being the best quarterback of all time. I mean, look, if you think Tesla is Tom Brady, and I think the broader part of the street has recognized that Tesla is going to be Tom Brady, that's why you're seeing the surge in Tesla right here, up 2.7% currently right now. Google's at 199, Tesla right here at 475. And again, you know, I think people do give Dan Ives shit because like he doesn't have like the super in-depth analysis. But quite frankly, I mean, when you're analyzing these tech stocks, I think sometimes we get too much in the weeds. Like Dan Ives has had a consistent thesis on Nvidia, Palantir, Tesla all year, and all of those theses that he had came out to be true. Primarily because he kind of kept it simple, stupid. FSD is going to matter for Tesla. GPUs are going to matter for Nvidia. AI use cases are going to matter for Palantir. All of those ended up playing out. And based on that, if you kind of just listen to that simple analysis, you didn't have to do any DCFs or anything that crazy. Yeah, Tesla ended up being a great buy. So did Palantir, so did Nvidia. So I think from that perspective, Dan Ives has developed a really good brand for himself. Again, he'll be on the show on Thursday for the market open. We got to make sure the damn microphone is working on Thursday. But he'll be on. We'll ask him a bunch of questions. I want to let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. You can put it right now. I want to ask him questions around his 2025 like top 10 list. And I want to kind of dive deeper into how he thinks of what 2025 looks like and why he thinks tech can compound the way it does. I know a lot of you guys asked me to ask him about his fashion choices, so I'll have to ask him that as well. And we'll have to see how he dresses the way he dresses. Why is SoFi down? I think SoFi is just being sold off with the broader market. They hit 10 million members today. Noto is technically selling shares, but not really selling shares. I mean, there's insider buying. I don't think SoFi deserves to be down right here. Same thing with Rob. Does Robinhood deserve to be down 5%? No, not on a day with Bitcoin hitting all-time highs. Like this is algorithmic markets feeling scared about JPOW, and I think wanting to take some profits in mid-December and potentially again before JPOW speaks. It feels like that's what's happening here. Ask about Grindr. Where's Grindr today? Where's Grindr, bro? Where is Grindr? Grindr holding 16s, baby. We're holding the 16s, 1670. Dude, I think Grindr, I think it's going to play out, bro. I really think the thesis is going to play out. The fact that Goldman Sachs came out yesterday and they said Grindr as a thesis, $20, it's so funny, bro. Like, it's one of those names that's so contrarian, but like, it really does make sense. Like, and it's very simple. Gay people use Grindr and they're going to keep using Grindr, and they're accelerating revenue at 30%. Like it's not that hard of a thesis. As long as they keep the growth up, I think they got a shot to do well. Bitcoin right here at 106,285. So Bitcoin is down a little bit, 20 bips. Riggedy Computing, that's up 6%. SoFi still down 3.4%. Tesla still holding 473 currently right now. XRP as well. Where's XRP? Let's see. Where's XRP? Oh, let's call Steve. Let's see if Steve can talk. XRP, yeah, it's up 4%. It's up 4%. Okay, let's call Steve. Let's see if he picks up. I think the mic should work if I put it on speaker, so it should be okay. Let's see. He was in a meeting yesterday till 8:30 p.m. Oh, he just rejected the call. It's probably still, he said 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, so he'll call in 2 minutes. We'll get to hear from Steve. RLUSD today. Yeah, this is also another thing that's making XRP gain momentum. This RLUSD thing. I mean, look, it makes sense that's why it's pumping. 259 on XRP, up 4%. Now in the past month, XRP is up 133%. I still am not a buyer of XRP, bro. I don't fully understand it, but for those that are in it, I mean, you don't really have the biggest reason to sell if you've got a lot of these catalysts coming up for XRP. Why is Google tanking? Is Google tanking? Is it actually tanking? Google's not tanking, bro. It's down 20 bips. Come on, bro. Google's down 0.21%. It's not tanking. It's down from 201. But remember, Google's up like 10% over the past week. We gotta give Google some grace here. Google's up a lot. So, and for a large cap, up 10% is a decent amount. So some consolidation on Google is not a bad thing. What else? Amid thoughts on MicroStrategy. I like MSTR, bro. I like it. I'm not buying it, but I like Saylor's. I like Saylor's energy, bro. I like his conviction. I like his just drive to just say he's right and everyone else is wrong. I like that. Not buying it, but I do think selling puts on this thing with a really low delta. I mean, dude, you could sell puts on this thing at like $200. It's at $390 and still get a good premium. That's how crazy MSTR premiums are. But obviously the risk is, that this thing collapses. It's just, if it goes all the way to 200, you kind of got to be okay with buying shares at those levels if you believe in it. But the fact that the options market is so juiced up for MSTR is one of the exciting parts about this one. Tarek says, bro, he's fucking over all the shareholders. I mean, look, that's true. And the reason he's fucking all over the shareholders right now is because he's doing all these at-the-money offerings. And by the way, the shareholders know about this. I was in some group yesterday on Twitter about MicroStrategy. It's like some public group, and I was reading some of the tweets. And they were all like, dude, like this at-the-money shit is ridiculous because he keeps selling shares of stock to get money to buy Bitcoin instead of doing the convertible notes that eventually will dilute far into the future. He's doing the dilution right now. And it's kind of weird because it's like he has already bought so much Bitcoin. He doesn't really need to keep buying more Bitcoin. But I guess he thinks this thing's going to 150 and he wants to get as much as he can. But it's at the expense of shareholders. That's the problem right now. But I like his energy. I like his energy is very intense. Okay, so I have this video right here on Saylor talking about dividends. I clipped this video. Let me see if I can play this right here. So we'll play this and then we'll call Steve. But this is the video where he basically says, if you buy dividend stocks, you're dumb. So let me see. I think the audio should be good. If it's not, let me know. But here's Saylor on dividends.
I think actually jamming a dividend on an equity investor, it converts your company from a growth company. I think actually jamming not a growth company anymore. You're not sure how to grow. And
okay, sorry, audio went away. Let me play it again. One sec. Sorry. 1 sec. Here we go. All right, start from here.
I think actually jamming a dividend on an equity investor, it converts your company from a growth company and a tax efficient equity. It converts you into a hybrid where you're kind of half fixed income, half equity. You're basically telling the world you're not a growth company anymore. You're not sure how to grow. And you really would like to find a lot of risk averse investors that don't even believe in growth, right? That are happy to pay tax, excessive taxes. So that strikes me as you've lost focus on your investors. You're trifurcating or bifurcating the investor community. You're incurring an unnecessary tax bill. You're signaling weakness, insecurity, confusion, and you're waiting for a bunch of retirees who are risk adverse and terrified of losing their money. You're waiting for them to figure out how to reinvest the dividend, right? Right. And so I can't see that makes a lot of strategic sense. And so then that leaves you with the buyback. Yeah. Okay, you got a company and you don't know how to grow the company with your cash, so you're just going to buy your own stock back. It sounds kind of good, but you're surrendering the capital. So if the company had, it had $100 billion of cash, well, the company's worth at least $100 billion. But when you buy back 10% of the stock, the company has $0 or $1 billion in cash, or a razor thin layer of working capital. Now the stock trades up 10% maybe, but the company has lost 95% of its tangible assets. How is that not riskier? What you're doing is you're levering up the company on forward expectations.
Yeah.
So we come back to Microsoft. Microsoft, the entire enterprise value is 95, sometimes 97 to 98%. Between 98 and 95% of it is based on just forward expectations, nothing tangible. Like it's you're going to generate X billion dollars of income this quarter. I multiply it by 144. Lord help you if you're $1 billion short, right? That's 144 billion.
Right.
If you actually change the guidance, right? These stocks basically, this is the irony. Conventional wisdom is, well, it's responsible to pay out the dividend and buy back the stock. But you realize you're literally creating 144 to 1 lever on your next quarter's result, or 150 or 200 to 1. And you're asking the market to value the company based on future expectations.
Look, not everyone will agree with that, but I thought that was really interesting because basically, by the way, my door is not open. There's no alien behind me right now. But I think it's really interesting because he's basically like, hey, wait a second. Everyone's upset at MicroStrategy for doing what we're doing with Bitcoin, but then you're valuing Microsoft 34 times their next 12 months earnings, and you're saying that's a good deal. And he does have a point. Now, most people are probably still going to pick Microsoft over MicroStrategy because there's like actual products that you're betting on. But still, he's making an argument that at the end of the day, Microsoft's giving up all their capital via dividends and buybacks and levering up the multiple on the stock only on future expectations, which is, what conventional price to earnings ratios tend to imply, future growth, versus getting a yield on their assets, aka the Bitcoin yield MicroStrategy talks about, which could be more accretive to shareholders. So different perspective there, but one of those things that he is very ideological about in terms of how he thinks around actually providing value to shareholders. All right, Steve just said we can call him now, so let's see if he picks up. And let's get his thoughts on the market.
Good morning, Matt.
Steve, good morning. You are live on the Market Open. How are you?
You sound bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You must have got your sleep last night.
Well, not only did I get my sleep this morning for like 20 minutes, the stream didn't work because of the microphone. So we finally got it to work. So that's why I'm happy now.
What do you mean the stream didn't work because of the microphone? You have a great setup there. What's going on?
I thought I had a great setup too. I genuinely think StreamYard has an issue because it feels like there's something wrong with their software here. So I'm going to have to probably use something different tonight. But yeah, we got the stream working. Steve, I have a question for you. Why is the stock market tanking right now?
I really haven't been looking, but my guess would be they're worried the Fed is not going to cut tomorrow.
So you think it's a J-Powell thing?
Yeah, don't we always get a little bit of volatility heading into a Fed meeting because you got some people saying you're going to get a cut, some people saying you're not going to get a cut, and then once the Fed meeting's over, the market just rips. That's kind of the MO in the past couple of months.
Yeah, this is look, the market's up a lot, so we all can't complain about how much it's down today, 1%, but still, it is some red we've seen for the first time in a couple weeks. And it's probably because of J-Powell fears.
Stocks just don't go up.
Speaking of stocks that only go up, Tesla is at 477.
Yeah, I'm going to have to write a pretty big check on that one.
For your covered calls?
Yeah, I was actually looking at rolling them. And I'm debating whether I wait until Q1 earnings and the stock tanks because there is no way this can continue, even though it seems like it's going to 600 or 700. Or if I just bite the bullet and buy, doing the math, for every contract that I have written, if I spend about $8,000 a contract, I save myself, I think it's $28,000 on upside. So I kind of don't have a choice at this point if I believe Tesla's going to keep going up.
Well, what do you think is the reason for why it's going up so much?
No, well, nothing has changed in the business, so everybody is anticipating he's going to get favorable treatment from regulations for FSD and bots over the next couple of years, and they're pricing that into the stock now. Q3 earnings wasn't great, and the stock is now ripping. And the only thing that's changed is you have a different administration coming in.
So, I mean, look, it's 5% away from 500. Do you think that happens before it tanks, or do you think it tanks and doesn't get to those levels?
I don't know that it has to.
I feel like
I don't know that any of these stocks need to tank. Can I tell you why I don't know that any of these stocks have to tank? Did you see the news from Databricks today?
Yeah, I did.
So I'm sorry, but they just raised $10 billion at a $62 billion valuation. Now, I don't know what the numbers are.
They're doing $3 billion in revenue. $3 billion in revenue.
But just here we go. $3 billion revenue run rate and free cash flow positive. They're not even saying how much free cash flow they generate. They're not even saying that on a net income or EPS level that they're positive, because that includes other things than a free cash flow metric. So this is a company that may not even be EPS positive.
So you think there is too much froth, I imagine, in the system?
It's unfair to say yes or no to that question without actually seeing the financials, but that's a big valuation.
Yeah, I mean, they're trading at 20 times price of sales. Now, Palantir's at 70 times price of sales. But
talk about an even bigger valuation.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't know that any of these things have to come down. I mean, in theory, they should, but maybe you can't look at these things from a traditional investing standpoint, and maybe looking at profitability is not correct anymore, which sounds crazy, because whenever you buy a stock, whether you pay $10 or $1,000 for it, you're paying for all the future cash flow of the company, paying for all the profitability. That's what you're paying for.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think people are just waiting until January to take profits to save on taxes, and January could be a bloodbath?
No, because you're not going to know in January what the new tax laws are going to be. They're not up until the end of 2025, I don't believe. And if I am correct in that, and I think I am, I'd have to double check. You're not going to know, and even if he makes changes and gets them approved, it may not be implemented for 2025. It may be for 2026 and going forward for however long the deal is negotiated. It's very rare that it's a retro look back.
No, but the problem is if you sell right now, you have to pay taxes in April. If you sell in January, you have to pay taxes in 2026 in general for capital gains. That's what I mean.
Yeah, look, people may want to put it off. I think that there's a stronger argument that people are waiting to see what he's going to do, because his platform was ran on several key things, and from a business aspect, lower corporate taxes, and from a personal aspect, lower taxes for individuals. And you have to think that lower capital gains is going to be in there. I would think that people are going to wait to see what gets flushed out in that bill before they start taking big gains. Because if the market is going to keep expanding margins, and if it's going to keep expanding EPS, the market should go up. If the market is going to continue to go up, there's no rush to sell unless you need the money, pay for college for somebody, to buy a house, or do whatever. But if you don't have a reason to sell, and it's about profit taking, I think that's not going to happen until 2026, because I think there will be different tax laws.
Okay, let me ask you, if J-Powell cuts tomorrow, people are saying it's going to be a hawkish cut. What do you think they mean by that?
I mean, a hawkish cut, I don't know how you can put a hawkish cut in when you have a business landscape that looks like this.
Well, basically, they're going to say that they're going to have a dot plan that doesn't show a ton of cuts in 2025.
Oh, unless they do a new Fed assessment and come out with a new dot plot, whoever says that is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think the market's expecting 5 cuts. If they say 3 cuts for 2025, that's where I think you could get the market feeling,
I mean, look,
afraid.
If you go to CME Group and go to the Fed Watch tool and you look at the Fed dot plot on the chart, the individual assessment, I believe was done in September, indicates that the most Fed members picked around 3.5% for next year. Some picked lower than that, some picked higher. But around 3.5 is the median. Can that change? Yes. Is it going to change? I don't think so. We got to see. But once again, I don't think it matters. You got to remember, when you start looking at the debt structure of some of these companies were taking out debt at 6, 7, and 8% interest rates. You get rates under 4%, that creates a really good environment for floating rate debt to decrease, for fixed rate debt to be issued at lower rates to pay off higher yielding debt, which expands margins. So whether it goes down by a percentage point from now until the end of next year, or 75 bips or 50 bips, I don't know that it's going to make a huge difference, because if they cut tomorrow, you've already gotten a full 100 bips off in 4 months. So from a numbers perspective, I don't think that it's going to matter as much as what people think. I could be 100% wrong, but we're already getting into a point where margins are expanding. So any further cuts are going to help margin expansion.
Okay, why do you think NVIDIA is getting shit on right now?
Oh, no, I bought more yesterday. I'll buy more on Friday. I'll buy more next week. I don't really care. I mean, I think it should be up on last quarter's earnings, and I think that if it keeps going down, I'm just going to keep buying, and we'll see what happens when the next quarterly report comes out. I think they're going to blow it out of the water.
But like, why is the market, like, what do you think their logic is here? Because it is weird with the growth we're seeing, with growth in Broadcom. Like, NVIDIA's getting.
I think half the people that are investing in NVIDIA don't even know what NVIDIA really does.
That's fair. That is
And
fair.
I don't think that people read financials the way that you or I read financials. I don't think people really do the due diligence. And I think it was a momentum play at one point, without realizing that they have the potential to become the most profitable company in the market next year. And there is an argument that they have the potential to become the first $5 trillion company by market cap.
Is Apple at 3.81 trillion not a sign of a top?
No, why would it be a sign of the top?
I'm asking you, is it a sign of a top? Why are you offended by my question? I'm asking you.
Because you know my answer. You know what my answer is going to be.
Well, I'm just curious. How do you justify almost 4 trillion on iPhones?
How did people justify when it got to 100 billion? How did people justify when it got to 500 billion? How did people justify when it was the first $1 trillion company? And how did people justify it at 2 trillion or 3 trillion?
So the news is
The numbers make sense.
They're coming out with foldable iPhones.
Okay.
Does that make you excited as an Apple shareholder?
No, not really.
So that's my point, Steve. I'm like, I think this is pumping for external reasons other than the broader market.
No, it's because the numbers make sense. Foldable, I don't know. Does a foldable iPhone make a difference? I don't know. I need to see it. I need to see how much bigger the screen is, how much easier it is to carry.
Oh, but Steve, I mean, you know it's stupid. Like, we all know this is stupid. Like, I think Apple is...
Yeah, I have no problem with my iPhone. There's nothing that I can't do on my iPhone that giving me an extra couple of inches would help with, because you can't increase the horizontal size of it, because it won't fit in your hand. So you can only increase the length of it, and I don't know that you really need it any longer, because then you just pick up a tablet at that point.
Well, that's my point. This foldable phone is stupid. Like, it's not going to sell. This is not going to be their next big winner. That's my point.
No, the next big winner is Apple Intelligence.
Steve, have you even downloaded it yet?
No, I haven't upgraded my iPhone. That doesn't mean that other people aren't.
I love how you let the world do everything for you, and you just sit back and analyze it.
Yeah, I don't move for anybody.
Okay, are you in Square yet or no?
No, I'm waiting for some stuff to get called away this week to free up capital, because I'm not going to roll certain positions. I'm going to use that capital to buy some Square.
Okay, and let's end it off with Palantir, NASDAQ. What do you think about that?
Nothing burger.
I mean, it is a something burger.
It's a nothing burger.
What do you mean it's a dude? We're in the NASDAQ. That's like a big ETF. That's a $400 billion ETF.
What's more important, being in the NASDAQ or the S&P?
I mean, we're in both, which is not bad.
What's more important, being in the NASDAQ or the S&P?
Obviously S&P, but
Okay, thank you.
any thoughts on price action as it's down 2.8% from the highs?
Yeah, it needs to come down a lot more. I mean, look, it's just one of those things, and I feel bad. If I'm right that it needs to come down, I'm going to feel really bad because that means people are losing money. They got in at a high price. I don't like that. I don't like people losing money. The valuation that it got to, I don't think it should have got there. But once again, the market's the market. People perceive value out of it. I just didn't think that there was a lot of upside there. I thought the valuation was really stretched, and it was a momentum play. But when you're a momentum play, at some point that momentum subsides if the financials are not there to back it up. You know, you can talk about Meta being a momentum play that's not stopping because the financials back it up. And Meta should have never got to where it was because the financials didn't warrant it. Like, that's a perfect case study. Meta going to 88 and then coming back versus Palantir again to where it got to. Because one company's financials warranted it and other companies didn't.
All right, two more for you. SoFi hit 10 million members today, hit $17. Good or bad?
Yeah, but it's down now. I mean, look, I think SoFi goes up if they cut rates, and I think it's going to go down if they don't cut rates, just with the market. But yeah, I mean, once again, it's the same thing I say about SoFi every quarter. Nobody's opinion matters except for those 10 million members that they just had. Because if they're perceiving value, if they like the product, that's all that you need to know, is that you have 10 million people using it, liking it, and they continue to grow their member base. And there is not a negative growth, because a negative growth would be them losing members, not decreasing the percentage of how many members they're growing by, because as you get more members, it is much harder to keep up the same growth rates. And there are too many people saying that this is a good product for there to be any discussion about the product not being good. So I think that they're doing a lot of good things. And I think 2025 is going to be a really good year for SoFi, Robinhood, Square. I think it's going to be a very good year for financials in general.
All right, last question for you, Steve. XRP is up 6% right now. What is this RLUSD thing, and why should we be excited about it?
I mean, I don't know why people are just jumping on the XRP bandwagon now.
Look, no one's jumping on the bandwagon, okay?
I'm just saying, I was telling people at 40 cents that this is the real deal, that Bitcoin has no utility. And I'll debate any Bitcoin maximalist about it.
Okay, well, why is XRP pumping? What is this significance of RLUSD?
I mean, we need to get Brad Garlinghouse on your show so you can actually have a conversation with that guy. That's your homework. You need to get Brad Garlinghouse on.
I am not pumping XRP.
No, it has nothing to do with you pumping it or saying anything about it. You need to interview Brad Garlinghouse and listen to what he says.
Okay. Well, regardless, one day maybe we'll do that. You just think that they're getting more mainstream attention as like a financial asset that could be used in different use cases, I imagine. That's why it's pumping.
Yeah, look, the SEC case has fallen apart. Once they are 100% clear of this, which it looks like it's going to be very soon, you already have a lot of financial institutions partnering with them and utilizing their technology. This is going to go mainstream, in my opinion. The Swift banking network, the very high-level overview of how this works. If I want to get cash to California, okay, the quickest way for me to get cash to California is to fly it there. It's for me to get on a plane and fly it there. I could be at the airport in 30 minutes. Actually, 15 minutes. No traffic. I can't Zelle somebody 10 grand or Venmo somebody 10 grand and then just take it and put it in their account and use it right away. It needs to clear. Venmo takes a day to clear. My wife and I were having this conversation the other day, and I showed her my phone. I said, you just Zelled me. It says pending. It's not going to clear till tomorrow. I can be in California in 6 hours. Hand somebody 10 grand. Okay? Overseas, You want to send somebody $5,000, $10,000, whatever the amount is overseas to any of the European countries or China or Japan, South Korea, wherever, it takes multiple days for it to clear, and there's more fees because there's more intermediary banks it has to go through. The SWIFT banking network is lethargic and too expensive. XRP's technology and the liquidity with the protocol allows it to settle in 3 seconds. I can buy XRP with USD. I can send it to somebody across the world. It settles in 3 seconds by the time they open up their freaking app, and they can sell it for their native currency and transfer that currency and use it. I mean, it is a technology that is going to solve cross-border payments, make things more efficient, and the fact that they are ahead of everybody with financial institutions, with partnerships, this is the one, if we get real progress in crypto, this is the one that has the best chance of solving a real world problem, in my opinion.
But you're not buying it here.
I already have a position. I don't need to buy it.
I just want people to make sure, like, people shouldn't know that you're super bullish, but you're not buying it here. You have a position.
I can be super bullish. I haven't bought more Meta since it went down to freaking 90.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
I'm super bullish on it.
I'm just making sure. Meta is a little different than XRP, but I'm just making sure.
Yes, I'm just using it. I can be super bullish on something and not buy more of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, you've been right so far this whole year. So you've been completely correct on this thesis.
But look, it's not about being right or taking a victory lap. My main thing has been, of the two, Bitcoin is at a much higher number. There is no offense or buts about that. But people are only interested in Bitcoin because they're seeing a number on the screen that's exceeding $100,000.
I think there's a little bit more than that. I think there's 21.
Hold on. What can you use Bitcoin for?
It's not about you. It's about storing value. It has no use case. It's not about
That's
use
all
case.
it is. It's storing value until it's not. And maybe that never happens at this point because too many people are involved in it. Okay? Maybe that never happens because governments are getting involved. But once again, it's a fictitious thing that people are buying that has, I don't remember the exact metrics, but I think it can only do 7 transactions a second. It has a settlement time of 30 minutes to 2 hours, whereas XRP can do 1,500 transactions per second and scale to up the amount of throughput as Visa. And it takes 3 seconds to settle. Like when you talk about crypto as a new currency or a new way to do things, you need throughput and you need efficiency. Bitcoin has neither.
Look, I mean,
those are the facts.
I get it, but Bitcoin tanks, Ripple's not going to outperform Bitcoin is my point. It's going to tank.
I'm not saying it's going to outperform Bitcoin. All I'm saying is one shouldn't have anything to do with the other because one is a store of value, one is utility.
Yeah.
And if XRP starts being adopted and utilized with banking systems, Bitcoin could go to zero and XRP still has utility that entities are using. So they may not be correlated at some point. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So actual last thing for you. Michael Saylor came out with a new interview yesterday and he said anyone who buys dividend stocks is a fucking idiot. What is your response to that?
Listen, I don't know the guy. I don't speak ill about him. But at the same time, if you have a person that's heavily invested in one thing and they only talk about this one thing and they go around trying to get corporations to buy this one thing, it is to get that one thing to go up and down.
But no. His logic was that a dividend means that the company has no idea what they're doing and they're giving.
That's not true. That is certainly not true.
Why is that not true?
Let's look at what a dividend actually is. A company generates profits. Okay? The profitability can go back into the company. It can be used to pay down debt. It can be used to buy back shares. It can be used to pay a dividend. When a company pays a dividend, you are sharing in the earnings potential of the company. Apple has paid a dividend for 14 years?
Yeah, and Apple's not growing.
For 14 years. Apple is growing when you look at a long-term scale. The past couple of years, they haven't grown. I'll give you that. Microsoft is growing. Alphabet's growing. Meta's growing. They're paying dividends.
Yeah, but those aren't, Steve, those aren't real dividends. Those are like whatever. Like we're talking about the income realties of the world.
Salesforce pays a dividend.
His point was if a company gives a dividend, they don't know what to do with the money, and that is toxic. That was his analysis.
I mean, would you say that Walmart doesn't know what to do with their money?
I mean, we're not talking about companies that give a very small dividend. We're talking about the 7%
But they
dividend.
give a small dividend because of how much they've appreciated in value over the past 2 years.
Yeah, but they're growing, which I think Saylor wouldn't have a problem with. But like Verizon, that's the issue, right? That's his argument. A 6% divvy, but they don't know how to keep growing the business. His argument is they should buy Bitcoin instead with that dividend money and get a return for their shareholders.
And why does he say that? Because he has a ridiculous amount of Bitcoin through MicroStrategy. He wants it to go up. Like Microsoft taking $40 billion a year and not doing buybacks and buying Bitcoin is crazy. If they want to add digital currencies to their balance sheet as reserve, that's one thing. But trying to convince a company not to buy back their own shares is crazy. Because when a company buys back their own shares, they're signaling that they believe in the company, they think the stock is too cheap, and it is a good value.
But
metrics that buybacks happen where it allows them to boost EPS because all the operational earnings that they generate is spread across less shares. It increases the percentage of ownership of every other shareholder when there's less shares out there.
Okay, but his argument is that Microsoft is valued on forward expectations. Every time they buy back the stock, they are only levering up those forward expectations against the underlying like functionality of the business. Whereas
they're not levering anything up because they're not taking on debt to buy the shares.
no, that's fine. But the point is the expectations for the stock itself are the single reason why you give it a 30 or 40 PE. Whereas if you bought Bitcoin, just like you buy a T-bill and they generate 5% every 3 months or whatever, if you bought Bitcoin and you generated, in this case, 60% per year for the past 10 years,
once again,
it's a better return on the money.
It has been a better return so far. There is no fundamentals. Bitcoin has no utility, and there is no way to know what is going to happen with it. All it is a store of value, which can go up or down. Even comparing the two is crazy.
All right. That is fair.
People have done very well in Bitcoin. They could continue to do very well in Bitcoin. But once again, you either want to be an investor in crypto or an investor in stock. Some are both, but the whole idea of buying Bitcoin instead of buybacks is just, to me, it's ludicrous because who's to say Bitcoin doesn't go down? Who's to say that it stops having this crazy speculation in it?
I mean, it could. Absolutely.
At least with Microsoft, you see their forward projections and you see their product line, and there's a lot of things to make an evaluation off of. With Bitcoin, it's whichever the way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying no, but I think that there's a place for it. But it does, to me, it doesn't replace buybacks. If Microsoft's the only one I'm not a shareholder of in the Mag 7, Max and Bitcoin, I would much rather buybacks.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Good stuff. I didn't get to talk to you all weekend, so I'll call you later as well to talk.
And don't forget about tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. So that's at 9 p.m., right?
I believe it's at 9 p.m.
Can you send me the link so I can send it to everybody?
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll call Alex today and I'll get it.
All right, guys. I'm going to be on a Pokemon podcast tomorrow. So I'll send the link to you guys. It's
hold on. Let's Pokemon invest. Not a Pokemon video game, a Pokemon investing podcast.
It's somehow I got wrapped into going into a Pokemon investing podcast. And I'll send the link to you guys if you guys want to join. It's one of your buddies, right?
We're going to explain the market to you, and we're going to turn you into an investor. I'm confident of this.
All right. So if anyone's interested in alternative assets in Pokemon, I'll send you guys the link.
It's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic. It'll be epic. All right, Steve. Was your board meeting fun yesterday? You couldn't call into the show because of your board meeting.
Yeah, it's always fun.
People were saying you were bored in the board meeting. I was like, that's probably true.
Certainly not true.
I think you were kind of bored in the board meeting. I think you were.
You know, I definitely don't think that's true.
Well, people love you. They love listening to you. They're begging for you to be on the show. I'm happy we got you here. Steve's Twitter, I'm putting it here in the chat. He just put out a new article about enterprise product partners.
Another company that pays a dividend.
Another company.
Distribution.
Dude, literally, I got to show you the clip. Sailor's like, buying a dividend is stupid. Like, it was hilarious, bro. It was so funny.
Okay, but one more thing before we go. One more thing. Some people are older. Some people need to put cash to work and generate income, not generating income from Bitcoin. Just saying.
It's fair. It's a fair point.
I mean, there are reasons people like income-producing assets. Some people don't want to buy real estate and be a landlord. Some people would rather own a REIT and have a management company do that and collect a dividend. I mean, there are reasons for people to invest in dividends. So once again, to say that he doesn't understand why people need money to live. Retirees like dividend income. Got news for you. Just a fact.
All right. That's fair. All right, Steve. Good stuff. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Later. All right, guys. Let's end it on this. Jensen just put out a video. Let's watch this real quick, then we'll end out the show today. Introducing the Jetson Orin, the world's most affordable generative AI computer.
Welcome to my house. I'm living in a different house now. We're fixing the house that you guys saw the last time you were in my kitchen. And let's see, what were we doing? My hair was a lot longer, and I lifted a brand new HGX out of my oven. Well, I'm cooking something up for you again today. And let me show it to you. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our brand new AI computer. Look at this. I think I might have cooked it a little bit too long. It shrunk. The little tiny Jetson Nano. Little Orin computer. This thing that's really amazing is that a long time ago, starting with Xavier, you guys might have known, that we created a brand new type of processor. It was a robotics processor. Nobody understood what we were building at the time. And we imagined that someday these deep learning models would evolve and we would have, you know, robots of all kinds. Everything that moves would be robotic. And now here we are. We're seeing all kinds of amazing robots. Robots on wheels, robots on legs, 2 legs, 3 legs. And of course, general humanoid robotics are nearly upon us. This is a brand new Jetson Nano Super. Almost 70 trillion operations per second, 25 watts, and $249. It runs everything that the HGX does, even runs large language models, and can't wait for all of you to try it. It's available everywhere. Go get it. Enjoy robotics.
That's pretty cool, bro. $250 for their smallest or their most affordable generative AI computer. Derek says this could be in figure, I bet. This seems like another form of NVIDIA basically showing that their GPUs have a multifaceted use case and that they can apply themselves in different verticals, different modalities to work in a variety of different ways. We got one update, speaking of figure, right here from Brett. He tweeted this just a couple hours ago. Update: all robots are in good condition and walking around. This is our second generation humanoid robot, Figure 02, designed to be a universal interface to the physical world. We built a human world and the interface will have a human form. I think this is super bullish Figure, super bullish robotics, super bullish NVIDIA, because all these NVIDIA chips are in these robots running around in the commercial customers that Figure's working with. And it's super bullish Tesla, because there's no way that Brett has all these Figure robots doing their thing and Optimus is not picking up its momentum and steam as well. Now, Elon hasn't really talked about Optimus like being deployed anywhere, but Tesla has their own factory, so Optimus is probably working there. The fact that all these investors or these analysts are starting to give Tesla an Optimus premium in their price targets means that they think it's coming. And that means it's going to be a very, very big market for Figure, Tesla, all of these different humanoid robotic companies. I mean, there's a real shot that they decide to IPO in the next couple of years, and they are very big IPOs. I have still not written my response to Joseph Carlson, so I'm going to be writing that today. I just, like, the past 3 days I've been so busy, but after the stream, I'm going to sit down and write it. I showed you guys that tweet on Friday. He said my analysis of Tesla's TAM around robotics being the biggest TAM in human history is incorrect because Amazon has e-commerce. I respectfully disagree. I think e-commerce doesn't even touch the TAM of humanoid robotics. I'm going to write my rebuttal today on Twitter and I'll post it. But the companies in that space, I think, are going to be some of the biggest companies in the world in the next 10 years. It just does not seem like those companies are slowing down, especially if they're actually innovating and they're building products and their robots are actually working. The market is there for them. I mean, I'm assuming millions and millions of companies want these robots. It's just the robots aren't at prime time yet. And once they get to prime time, it'll be exciting. Even Apple's thinking of working on a humanoid robot, dude. The fact that Apple's thinking of getting into that vertical just shows how big the market is. And if you're a Tesla investor, I mean, that's the best way to get exposure to it in the public markets when it comes to robots right now as well. What price did you buy into Figure at $2 billion? I got in at $2 billion. Got very, very lucky by this guy, Derek Wall. It will be a billion. Okay, I'm not going to be a billionaire unless this thing goes crazy. Derek will be a multi-billionaire from this. I'm going to be hopefully a multi-millionaire if everything works out over the next 10, 15 years. But dude, $2 billion now looks like a joke. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. It was 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion pre-money. They raised 675 million, so that made it 2 post-money, but we got in pre-money. 1.6 billion feels like a joke now for Figure. Like, it legit feels like a joke. And the best thing about Figure too is that Tesla's making the market for them. So like, Figure doesn't have to be number one. They just have to be up there with Tesla. And if Tesla's making the market, Tesla's doing the advertising, Tesla's doing all the promotion, Tesla's getting robots, Tesla's sending robots to Kim Kardashian, that's a pretty easy market for Figure to just step into and get a select group of clients that aren't going with Tesla because it's going to be a very big market. And then boom, you've got a very, very big company and a very, very big TAM for Tesla that they're taking over. Yeah, Derek got in at 70 million, bro. Derek invested when they were an idea on a napkin. Literally, he had a meeting with Brett and Brett was like, all right, robots. And Derek's picky. Again, Derek's really picky. He doesn't invest easily. So he's like, what do you mean? And then Brett was like, there's going to be robots walking around and it's going to change the world. And then Derek was like, fuck it. Let's put some money into this. And, it's done well from 70 million to 1.6 billion. And I think the valuation now is probably worth more than 1.6 billion. What is the exact valuation? I don't know. We'll have to figure out next year if they do a raise. But I do think 1.6 billion is going to be cheap over the long term. And 70 million is going to be like, I mean, it's going to be one of the best investments ever, I think, for him. It really will. That was a $70 million napkin. Yeah, literally. No, but like, this is what happens, right, with these startups, right? You have this idea, you approach investors, and then investors get an idea on a napkin all the time. But if they get a really good idea on a napkin, that's when it's like, all right, it's worth taking a bet, Derek says it's worth 50 to 70 billion today. Okay, so Derek keeps telling me it's worth 50 to 70 billion today. And if that's the case, that means my investment's up like 25 to 30x already. So I'm not liquid on it, obviously, even though I think I could get liquid if someone wants to buy the shares. But I'm holding on to this thing for a long time. That would be really cool. That was honestly the best investment of 2024 for me. Palantir was not the best investment. Robinhood options were not the best investment. It was this. But obviously there's a risk of failure with this. But it looks like that risk has significantly decreased. Given the momentum that they're approaching this with. But again, for those that can't get into Figure, again, I got very, very lucky and I'm very, very blessed that Derek got me into this deal. I talk about it all the time. I'm unbelievably grateful for that. For those that can't get into it, I think Tesla is the next best option. And quite frankly, you don't have to be in a startup to get a 20, 30x. I genuinely believe Optimus is going to be worth $25 to $30 trillion for Tesla. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen because this is the biggest TAM in human history. Again, I'm going to do a long write-up today, so you guys will see my analysis with Joseph Carlson today. By the way, let me link a video. For those that have never seen anyone talk about humanoid robotics, this is the video you want to look at. I did a podcast with Cern Basher a while ago. He is one of the biggest names in humanoid robotics. It's an hour long. I'm linking it in the chat right now. This guy goes through an entire presentation on the unit economics of robots, and it blows your mind how big the TAM is. Like it's something that not a lot of people have thought about before. And it takes creativity to think about this well. This, I love Joseph, but Joseph's a very, like, he can't really see beyond the horizon. Like Palantir, Tesla, he would never understand it because he's just not that type of investor, which is fine. But I think this is one where you can't afford to not see behind the horizon. Because when Optimus really kicks up, when we enter into the age of robots, this is going to be a different freaking world. And Tesla's the best way to get exposure right now in the public markets to it. Derek says we both got lucky. Yes, we both definitely got lucky. But I got really lucky because, you know, I'm not a VC or a private investor or anything. So I got very lucky that Derek gave me that opportunity. CERN's in figure as well. Yeah, CERN's in figure as well. So CERN's been touting the humanoid robotic thesis for at least a couple of years now. And it's I think CERN was on Herbert's channel, who's also part of the Tesla community. And when Figure showed off their first video like 8 months ago, there was a live stream. CERN was crying on that live stream. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but you guys can probably find it from like March. Figure showed off like one of their first earliest videos of like, I think that's when he was doing the dishes, the robot, and like putting the apple in the trash or whatever. And CERN was crying. That's how emotional he was because he's been following the story for so long, and now he's seeing the robot actually do its thing. It's emotional, bro. And it's their market to take. It is a market that's out there. Tesla, Figure, all these guys have really an unlimited TAM when you think of how big the opportunity is. They just have to execute, and it looks like they're executing very well. So there you go. Herbert's in as well. Yeah, CERN and Herbert are both in. CERN and Herbert are both in. And I think Derek got both of them in as well. So he was definitely spreading the blessings around, getting some of these people into Figure. All right, so that's it for me, guys. The stream will be technically better from all the microphone stuff on the market close. We got Tesla right here holding up at 471. It's not bad. Even Hood getting a little recovery at 41.53. We bought our shares at 40.75. So far, not a horrible buy. SoFi 16.35, Square 94.05, Palantir also not below 70. It's at 74. It's down 2%. Even though the markets are getting a little red today, we are getting a bit of a recovery. S&P is up from down 0.5, now down 0.3. And then QQQ was down 0.7, now it's down 0.3. So the dip is being bought on some of these names. Tesla, 471. Bitcoin just about to go green at 106 right now. Tesla, 472, still up 2% on the day, holding on to its 2% move, even though it did hit 484 earlier this morning. So that is it for the markets. Let's do word of the day, and then I'm going to make sure the stream is good for the market close. So we fix things up. Do we have earnings today? Do we have earnings? We have no earnings today. Okay, no earnings. No earnings. So normal market close, no earnings today. On Thursday, we have Accenture, Nike, and FedEx, and tomorrow we have Micron and Lennar. So we do have some important earnings towards the rest of the day, but not that many. Okay, so word of the day. Word of the day is Brabble. Word of the day is Brabble.
Brabble.
Noisy, quarrelsome chatter. A Brabble would break out at the family game night whenever there was a dispute about the rules. At school, it's best to steer clear of petty Brabbles that only lead to trouble. Okay, so I guess this Brabble is just someone talking and not really saying anything important. Which is basically what happened this morning for 30 minutes. Dude, I was listening back to it a second ago. It was bad, bro. It was bad. I feel for you guys. That was bad. It was basically brabbling the whole time because every other word was going in and out. So yeah, we're definitely going to fix that. Oh yeah, Technical Tuesday today. I forgot. Technical Tuesday. All right. So good. So good. Technical Tuesday. I'll fix up the audio stuff and then we'll get Jason. I forgot today's Tuesday. So that's what we'll do. We'll get right into that tape by like 4:05 since we don't have any earnings, and we'll be live for like 3 hours looking at tickers and going from there. All right. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you all. Thank you all for staying. Really means a lot. I know it was hard in the morning, but we're going to try to fix it up. I really, really appreciate everyone who stayed throughout the stream and enjoyed the show. Hopefully it was still good enough towards the end of the day. And we'll be back for the market close. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you. See you guys in a bit.